What's going on?
Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my right, we have A to the P, Alex Petrella. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
What's happening over there?
We've been drinking a little heavily, but thank you.
To his right today is Garrett. Garrett, how you doing?
Oh, swell.
As we said last week, Gary's his new name.
Nope, I did not okay that.
2 R's or 1 R? That's 2 R's.
Yeah, you put 2 R's. Nowhere in the freaking history of the world is there Garry with 2 R's.
It's possible.
Show me a Garry with 2 R's.
You don't want to be unique?
No.
To his right, we have 3 special guests from A Comic Book Look. Right directly to his right, we have John on Demand. John, how you doing today?
Doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
Look at that hat. The hat's pretty good.
Yes.
Ock, Spider-Man.
Of course.
And to his right, for the first time, Tom Devine. How you doing?
Good, guys.
And to his right, Sergeant Merica, the caller of all callers. How you doing?
Excellent. I just talking to this blue thing. Is that how this thing works? I literally like your guys' show, but don't let all the fame go to your head. You are amazing. Just keep it at that.
Fun fact, nobody knew our microphone heads were blue until we started doing video.
Yeah. That's why he used to call us the Boys in Blue.
Nope, that's not one.
So we're going to actually talk about up top here. But let me see. I have something I want to do, a little housekeeping real quick. We want people to be involved with the show. We have email, Twitter, Facebook. Use a new avenue. You can leave us a voicemail. If we'll talk about it on the show, I might play on the show.
Alex is still waiting for our ad in the newspaper. So.
Ad in the newspaper. Hey, we don't have like an Ask Abby or what's it called? Ask Jeeves. That's
Is that too fancy? Okay.
the internet.
Did you use that last
That's
week?
2003 internet, so Alex can handle
What
it.
happened?
I'm getting close, guys.
What happened to Jeeves? He's out on the streets now.
Dead.
So we want you to call in 605-215-1849. Leave a voicemail. We'll listen to it, talk about it on the show. Once again, 60. You can go back and rewind. What am I? This is not live. Leave us a voicemail. We'll talk about it. Especially, I tweeted out on the new book club. Don't say anything. Book club. We want your voicemails about what you think about the book. Even if you read it now, send me a voicemail. I'll save it for October. So we'll talk
I'm going to do a poll from these guys a little bit later about our... wait, it's free talk now. Okay, what sounds better to you guys for book club? Wednesday Comics Book Club or Wednesday Comics League of Extraordinary Gentle People Book
What's this guy
Club?
do right away?
Talk about
League of Extraordinary Gentle People Extraordinary or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's hard to say.
it's hard to say. No one can say it.
That's the point.
I definitely vote for Sergeant Merica's takeover of book club.
I would second that one. That would actually be pretty good.
It'd be like Captain America and Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm sure there'll be like 10 voicemails from you that I'll play on the show. So here we go. So we're going to talk about origins, how you got into comics. You guys, let me actually first, before we get into that, John and Tom, what year did you guys start at Comic Book Look? That's how long? 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, 6 years ago? 5 years ago? 6. Yeah, so 6 years ago. So what's that, 2011?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Look for a Comic Book Look. First episode's in a basement. I saw King Kong in the background. Who else? Hulk?
King Kong's still on the wall. We just don't shoot him. He's on the other wall now. But yeah, we had we always had the Pink Ranger being held by King Kong because we're Power Rangers for life. And then we always had like beer signs and different things at the first that I just had in my basement. And then slowly things just got taken down and then grew into more and more. And then we built a room in my basement and got rid of that whole entire spot. Now we shoot it wherever we can.
Speaking of origins, how does that show start? Like, what's the lead up to episode 1?
So, we sat next to each other. We worked at a large financial banking institution, rhymes with Bell's Embargo. And so we were sitting across from each other all the time. And, I was super heavy into comics at the time. And John's like, oh, actually, I like comic books too. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. I bet you don't. And then he started
Such a good nerd response.
No, but then he started spouting off a bunch of stuff about X-Men that was like, oh, you are way more knowledgeable than me, probably in a lot of ways. And then he told me he lived in Japan, and I was like, well, I want to be friends with a dude who lived in Japan. And then I was watching a lot of YouTube shows and like just getting into podcasts and stuff like that. And I was like, we got to do one. And then John was instantly on board.
2011 for YouTube. There's not a lot of actual shows. There's just like random videos people would put on there.
Well, there was a few that I like very specifically looked at. So like they still sometimes do. They have a podcast now, but Comic Book Club out of New York. They had a show that I watched all the time, and then Comic Culture Warrior was like my favorite one that I always listened to. These like two dudes who just like bash, corporate. It was the first time that I heard people like talk bad about DC and Marvel in any way, being like event fatigue, cash grabs, all these other things that we still deal with now. Like they were complaining about them. Then I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about that. Oh yeah, I never thought about that. And then that really like shaped the way I feel like putting an importance on creators and things like that I feel how I go about comics. Like all came from Comic Culture Warrior, which was, a YouTube from like 2008 to 2010. And then they were done. But it's awesome. Go back and check them out.
How many episodes have you guys done? Do you know the count? I mean, you guys really don't number them.
300s, I thought?
No, I mean, there are like 160 official
formal ones. And then there's the extras.
And then probably 100 one-shots.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cameos on other shows and everything.
Exactly. And interviews of creators and stuff like that, where we don't label it an actual episode, but we still put it on our channel.
And then probably the last 12, 18 months, Sergeant Merica showed up. You had your own channel, right? First?
Actually, I started being a fan. I mean, it's one of the great things is as a fan, finding these communities and then just started commenting. And I'd known John, and then I got to see Tom, see the videos. It was just great to see that. And then, I was asked to show up one time, and we worked around different schedules, and everything is crazy amazing. And then I started getting on other people's shows, the Comic Book Roundtable and Oddfellow Thoughts YouTube channel, and finding more and more of them out there. And then finally, one day I went crazy and cut my own video. And, some people may know me from that. Most people, if they're from the Sioux Falls 605, may know me as the crazy guy with the sandwich board on 41st and Louise that screams about Captain America. That's probably what I'm really well known for. So,
Whatever.
We actually literally have video of when Tom and I reached out to Mike to join the channel.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
Because we did it on
your
show.
phone. I think it's on your phone because I made the call on mine, but that's pretty cool too. I know. And, I think for our show, when Tom and I started it, the premise was we used to like banter about comics because we're both so opinionated, and it morphed into this something so cool and approachable. The number one piece of feedback we got is that it's like hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. Mark, Bacon and Boarding Bad Boy, started his show after tuning into us for a while, so that's cool, and he's exploded and just a tidal wave of positivity about nerd life, so love it.
I think that's the main thing from where, it's a good thing that we live like at this time, because you can do like all this stuff by yourself. Like back in the day, you would have to get a job doing this, and nobody's hiring somebody to talk about comic books on the radio or on TV. So it's nice that like you can, like you said, people watch your stuff and they're like, hey, I'm going to make my own. Or people like me, actually, we talked about on the show, like I'm a fan of podcasts, especially like iFanboy podcasts, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And
I still listen.
Yeah, me too. And then I was like, you know what? We can do a podcast. That's what I told these guys. I was like, just buy the stuff, I think. That's what you do.
I think when we started, it was a lot about, just wanting to like just put my opinions out there. I felt like I was just like so ready. I always feel like I'm the smartest person in the room. So like even when I was like back then and I was relatively, I guess not new to comics, but newer to comics than I am now, I still felt like I knew way more than everybody else. And I watch those videos now. It's like, you're such an arrogant asshole. But I don't think I've changed.
I was a square. I do not like.
Yeah.
Did episode one? Did you wear a tie episode one or something like that?
I have ties all over because I used to get off work late and just come straight over and we'd shoot.
And John chooses to look good most of the time. He's a sharp dressed dude where I was always not a sharp dressed guy. So it's a good dynamic though as well for the show. But then I think at first it was just us trying to get our opinions out there, and then it switched way more to just being about the community. No, I don't even care about that. Our videos changed from being like very comic centric, where we literally would talk about like the very specific panels and go into comic books, and then kind of molded into comic book themes. And then it molded into like just dudes hanging out. And sometimes we like wouldn't even really discuss that much comics, or it would be like one broad topic. And then, you know, like I was kind of absent from our channel for 2 years, basically, when like John and Sarge and Ken would just hold it down. They did like Doctor Who look and other things where I had, you know, just other stuff going on, and got away from comics a little bit, I guess. Still bought comics.
And now he's holding it down. Like,
but yeah, now weekly reviews
Tom is
for sure.
The captain here.
Yeah, those weekly reviews, I like them. You know what my favorite episode is? Comic Book Look. It's gonna be a weird episode when you guys go ice fishing.
Oh yeah, that's great.
The best.
We got snow all over our comics.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what that was my favorite part. Is that there's a specific part where I think Skylar, who is also on your show, is handing John back a comic, John's comic, and he drops in the snow. You can see John be like,
John was like, I'm gonna have to go buy another one of those.
It made me laugh.
Yeah, that was
mostly because
absurd.
like I knew that how you treat your comics is how I like. Not, I mean, at the end of the day, I do care about that
exactly.
issue.
Like, if Saga #1 got like bent, I would be upset about it, you know. But I'm also not going to like break a sweat when like somebody tosses my Batman 236. You know,
I can't even have you joke about that because I was just,
Meanwhile, I was gonna say I feel like that Alex is like your John.
Yeah.
He's this guy's like.
Alex has got PTSD.
when I put my books in a stack and I lean them in a corner space, I'm always nervous that my god, my corner's
He
going to
has
be
them.
bad. Holy
He has
shit.
them in a waterproof case on a rack above, so that in case water ever came in, even though they're waterproof cases, just in case, like they're doubly protected.
like smart man.
See,
you know,
other people get it.
I mean, I do get it, and when I wish, like when I want to go and find one of my comic books, I really do wish I was organized. It's
Hey,
like
that's me today. Trying to find Hadrian Wall 7 to catch up. Can't find it. I have to buy it online. I know I bought it.
bought
but
it twice now.
I was like, I know I bought it, but I can't find it. I don't know where it is. So I was like, well, here we go. I did that last week for, what book was it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. We read it last week too, and I was trying to catch up, and I was like, Black Hammer. I did for Black Hammer.
Oh,
really?
I had issue 8, and I looked for 9 and go, where's 9 at? I have 10. I was like, nah, I'll just read 10. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just buy it online. So I just read it. Even though I know it's somewhere in that room.
Of course. And so, yes, I wish it, you know, like you, that it was organized. It's just not. How about your guys' origins, though? I mean, not origins as a podcast, though, but how did all three of you guys, like, get into comic books? Were you young? I mean, like, always liked them, or how did that go?
You old fogies.
I was like,
No, well, first of all, they're all younger than me. Let me make it. Every single one of these guys is younger than me. So
Well, let's go first.
I'm old.
you can go, Garrett.
Garrett.
All right. So actually, I owe to Rainbow for me getting interested. When I was in elementary school, they would do those. I can't remember what the program's called, but you know, there'd be like different businesses from all around the community would come in, and Brian would, you know, go in and talk about hero clicks and comics and things. It'd be like literally like a 30-minute panel. Well, luckily enough, my brother Corey, #GuestHost1, he got assigned to do a project for that thing. So that brought us into the comic book shop, and you know, and right away when we got in there, we started like getting comics a lot, and then it kind of died down, and then like 3 years later, my brother got another project, and he just did the same one basically, and ever since then, like hardcore went through it. And I can still remember the first comic I ever bought. It was Steve Rogers' Captain America from 1998, #1, the hero's return after he had died in whatever event, I think, can't remember. But so yeah, that's where it's been. And like I've missed Wednesdays, but I mean, I haven't missed. I've been getting comics for like 16 years now. So
When you first started reading comics, did you read DC and Marvel right away, both, or was it a character centric?
it was more character centric. Like I started with Marvel, you know, the buzz when Iron Man came out. I started getting Invincible Iron Man. What?
When we met you, all you got was DC.
It was before us.
No.
Before you
I'm
met
saying
us.
before you guys.
Oh, okay.
I was learned by that time.
Jerks.
I got Invincible Iron Man, and I read like 13 issues. I'm like, this is shit. So I took it back and like no one at the shop was happy. And he's like, because my brother was like, what if you can trade comics? I don't know. I go in and I'm like, can I trade these for something better? And he's like, we can't trade comics. That's what Brian said. And I was like, oh, he could tell I was like really down. And then he let me use credit to get a bunch of Batman issues, and then DC ever since. But then
Do you know, was that Matt Fraction's run?
I was going to say Invincible Iron Man and Matt Fraction in like 2006-ish? Or no, 8-ish maybe.
This was when Obadiah Stane's son was the villain in there. So I don't know.
That might have been.
I don't
I don't think it was Matt Fraction.
Did Tony Stark
wasn't.
look like Josh Holloway from Lost?
No.
Salvador LaRocca, I think, did the art?
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it would have been before that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, nope, DCL.
How old were you then? 8 years old?
When I was starting to read regularly since
Iron Man.
sophomore, so I don't know.
When did Iron Man come out? 2006?
I want to say 2008. Maybe.
Yeah, it was 2008, so like 15.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, yeah. I like that run. I think I still got it somewhere.
Matt Fraction, yeah, I have that run too.
I wasn't 15, I was younger than that. I don't know what time. If I remember.
Math isn't your thing.
Hey, if you want to talk about origins for Alex, actually Facebook reminded me 2 days ago. I should have shared it but there was a point when I was trying to get Alex into comics, and I have video evidence of Alex like looking through one of my comics. He didn't read comics at that point, but he's like looking through them, and you could tell he's like, "Hey, maybe I can get into these." But
Really?
Well, actually,
Alex, tell us.
I say that's my origin story. Is actually Marvin lent me. I'm going to estimate 150 comic books, and I had these books for a year, at least a year.
Hey, he
Haven't
makes it
touched
sound like
this.
I'm a generous friend, but about 75% of those were shit that I didn't want. So.
But so he gives me these books to read, and I'm like, okay, well, I got 100 books to read. Fuck. So about a year later, Marvin goes, "Hey, did you ever read any of those comic books?" No, but I'll make sure I read them so that I can go back to you. And I start reading them, and I start reading Bendis's, is it New Avengers?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I started reading this, and now there's holes in this book I'm reading. Not literally in the book, but in every issue.
Oh, this is where it comes in. You have to get every issue.
And that's where it started. Is that I'm reading issue 3.
Yeah.
Well, then there's 6. Well, fuck. What happened to these other 3 issues?
So
then I go to
technically, Marvin, it's your fault that he's as crazy as he is. Because
I need to
you
finish
fucked
it.
up.
Hey,
You gave him all the issues you didn't want, and then he had to complete it.
Were you a reader beforehand?
No, I mean,
Like novels or prose or whatever?
not really. I've actually found that the older I got, the more I enjoy reading.
Yeah.
Because now it's not you have to read for school. It's read because I want to read.
Yeah.
So I read way more now. So anyway, I'm reading these books. Oh, holy shit, these are pretty good. And we got some Amazing Spider-Mans. Oh, I need to go get the rest of that Gauntlet run because holy shit, that's great. Oh, this is Superman garbage. Throw that out. It was Action Comics. Like,
Action Comics, Greg Rucka's run when it was about Firebird and Nightwing. It wasn't actually about anything Superman.
so again, tricked into reading this book. So that's
When it
actually
says on the top world without
You know what? those were like actually, now that I think back about it, those I probably would enjoy more now. But back then I was like, where's the fuck Superman?
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like now I'm like, I want to learn about
I
these
like
other
that run.
characters.
I remember that action run. Definitely. I always preferred, Nightwing, Firebird. It's a cool team.
miss them.
So now I'm not I was never a hard DC, a hard Marvel. I was more just Marvel DC. Then Marvin was
You
telling me
were more
about,
a Deadpool Batman guy.
yeah.
Sure.
I still am, although I don't get Deadpool anymore because his shit's all the same, and everyone likes Deadpool, which
Yeah.
is great. But
Because he's finally like the character he's supposed to be. Like him and Harley Quinn are like finally who they're supposed to be. They're old characters.
No. I disagree 100%. No.
That's
They're
just
commercialized.
That's Garrett Bait.
They're the Starbucks. They're the Starbucks of superheroes right now, or supervillains, whatever. So
anyway, the reason I got started is
Corporate
blaming
cocaine.
Marvin.
That's cool. How about you, Marvin?
Who knows? I have bad memory. So I believe. So I remember reading. I've always been like into like superhero stuff, like Batman animated series, X-Men, and all that stuff. Everybody in our age group is like X-Men, Batman. That's what got me into superheroes. And then, so I remember reading like these like top 25 like graphic novels you have to read. So there was a period of time when I was just picking those up, but I wasn't reading them yet for like a good like year or 2 years. You know what? And actually, I've recently identified that like for some reason in my head, I was like, I got to collect all this stuff for one day when I have the time to read it all. I don't want to waste them. Read it real quick because I just bought it. You know what I mean? Let's save for that.
That's crazy.
But
So
then-
you bought like multiple comics before you had even read one.
But then, when you think about it, then it came to a point, I think like the last couple of years, I was like, you know what, I could die any day now. So I bought all these books. Like, I'm never going to read them. So I started actually. So there was a point, I think it was Dark Knight Returns. I remember. No, it was Watchmen. So I bought all these comics, and then I heard that they were making Watchmen into a movie. So I was like, hey, maybe I should read that. Like, I had it on my shelf, but I've never read it before. So I read it. And I do say a lot of times on the show that I don't think that's a good, like, first thing you read is Watchmen, but I did. And I remember liking it so much, I was like, and I think it helped that part of it is prose, and like that's what I'm used to. So I read that, then I read Dark Knight Returns, and then I read Year One, Batman Year One, and all this stuff. And then I read Civil War, and Civil War is the first one that made me think maybe I should get this like monthly, because like these are like superheroes, and I know they make monthly comics about this. So then I started getting Captain America, Ed Brubaker's run, like from that, and like that was it. I was like, okay, now I start getting monthly comics. I started getting. I actually didn't know that we had a comic book shop in town for the longest time. So I used to get them online, like shipped to me. Like every 2 weeks, I would get a package. It was the best day of my life. It'd always come, and I would be like, "Oh, the package is here," and it would unwrap. I remember the company I used to buy from. They went out of business, but they like were so good at packaging. Like just unwrapping it would like be a present. And then actually, it wasn't really until I met Garrett that he went to Rainbow, and I was like, "Oh, we have a comic book shop?" Like I didn't know because it used to be. Like, you know how now their sign says like Rainbow Comics and Cards, but the old sign for me at least, isn't there a place that also called Rainbow that like sells paint and stuff?
No, it sells kids like
play sets.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
the
got
longest time
duped at Christmas one time. Someone bought me a rainbow gift
No
card,
way.
and they got it. From
You can
the
get a
play
slide.
set. Yeah, it's like fuck yourself. It's the
probably
worst
give you-
Christmas ever.
They probably give you enough for a fourth of a slide.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but so I always thought that place was like that thing. So I was always like, oh, that's not a comic book shop. Until one day when he told me, no, it's comic. So I drove by there and I saw it said collectibles and comics, and I was like, oh, that is comics. And so I think actually me and Alex went together right after because he went to check it out, and I was like,
To be fair, I'd already been there before.
Yeah.
I
He knew
collected
about it.
turtle
He just
toys.
didn't tell me.
Sure.
And then he saw Garrett there. That's how we figured out that Garrett likes comics, because we all worked together, but we didn't know that Garrett liked comics.
Oh, funny.
He saw him at Rainbow and was like, and I remember Alex coming up to me at work, being like, hey, do you know the twins are into comics? So you know what I do to this guy? I walk back to where his department where he was working, and I go, hey, I heard you're into comics. I go, what's your favorite comic? You know, and for me, I was like kind of not testing him to be like, oh, this is going to be like deciding if we're friends or not. Of
course,
But I was
yeah.
like, also,
Yeah.
what you say is on the line.
He's like Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog.
and at the time, I remember he said All-Star Superman. And I go, oh, you like Grant Morrison? So we talked Grant Morrison for like
Oh
an hour.
no, Batman by Grant Morrison.
Oh, Batman,
'Cause
yes.
I didn't like All Star. I mean, like, I liked All Superman, but not as much as you did.
But I remember Frank Whiteley did do that.
Yeah,
too.
right.
So we talked about that for a long
I didn't
time.
incorporate
We talked about Grant Morrison for a long
Yeah.
time because I love Grant Morrison.
Except for Arkham Asylum.
And then
No, he likes it.
then we
still.
all decided to go to the shop, and then I started going to the shop regularly. So then I started getting them like every week instead of every 2 weeks.
Well, because what it was is me and Alex would get, and Corey would get comics on Wednesdays and be caught up, and Marvin we had to wait like 3 days to talk about it because he got them shipped to him. So
Every 2 weeks. It was nice though.
That's crazy.
I want to go back to something you said when you were talking about your origins for the YouTube channel. You mentioned that you started talking at work, right, about comics, and you said you just like these YouTube channels because you can like talk about comics. Like you said, you felt like you need to state your opinion,
Oh,
right?
Yes.
That's something I felt like in comics is most unique, is that since some of them come out like monthly and like you're waiting so long for the next issue, I feel like it's like the most thing where you have to be like, I got to talk about somebody with this. And also, like, there's very few people who read comics that you know about. So, like, you want to talk about it, then there's like nobody around. So when you find somebody who likes comics, that's like instantly it's like a plus 15 of friendship. You know what I mean? It's like
I would say like plus 100 for me. Like if I know you like comic books or retro video games, it's like any other things that are bad about you, I can probably get over it because we can connect on the things that I actually care about. So it's like, yeah, please, definitely. So, but then it's like me and I guess I have a big group of friends that do not like comics, you know, definitely make fun of me for all of the different things that I'm into, where it's like, now I feel kind of closer to like John and my other boys, and like Skylar's like became one of my best friends, and stupid Sarge here, you know, it's like nobody.
Did Skylar ever finish Chew?
No, you kidding? He gave 6 trades back unread. Skylar's the worst comic book fan ever. He's on our show. He's read maybe 8 comic books.
He goes to you guys to a lot of the movies.
Yeah, he goes to the movie. He's a stand-up comedian.
He was on the show for a long time, like as a, and you could tell, he would always talk about the same 8 books. So
Yeah,
like,
he has no. I mean, he approached us and he was like, "Hey, I went to Mount Marty for video editing, and he's like, could I edit?"
that's what I was gonna ask. Wasn't he behind the camera at first?
And so then he started editing, and then like one time we are like, "Yeah, you can come on this one time." And then it was like
how that went. Yeah.
the next week his computer broke. He's like, "Yeah, I can't edit the shows anymore. So see you guys next week at the show."
For a while, because I think I started watching episode 1 because I was friends with John, and I remember he posted like on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
So I started watching for episode 1, and like I said, as somebody reading comics, I was like, "Oh, it's people talking about comics. Let's watch the show." And I think at the beginning, when Skylar was behind the camera, I would every once in a while you would like yell at him, be like, "Skylar," but like something. I'd be like, "That guy's that's nobody behind the camera. He's just yelling at nobody."
Well, I mean, 70% of the time he may have been there. I don't know. A lot of times he wasn't.
It was sometimes. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's many times that he couldn't make it. He's the worst. I mean, he's always late. There's been multiple times that he'll just show up when we're like, we started an hour late, and then it'll be like a half hour into the show, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here." We're like, "Dude, we're recording. It's over, bro."
And before he got in front of the camera, I would always joke too that he was like Ultron. He was just this robot you kept somewhere in the back.
But so then, I mean, it was very easy for us to like really throw him under the bus almost forever. I mean, there was probably a year where every episode we would be like, "Skylar, God damn it," and then like go off on a tangent on what he messed up on. But no, now he's just not a part of the show anymore, but we still hold on to him still.
He's the mascot.
Yeah. I mean, hey, as soon as we're ready to do something, he's free. He'll be there. I mean, he's still a part of the show that way.
The comedy thing.
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
Yep. But yeah. So
I was gonna say actually, I don't know if he feels this way, but I think like being on your show, like he was always the comic relief kind of guy, and then. And then I think that helped like him transition to that stand up. Like he was doing it in front of the camera, like with you guys as an audience. And I've seen some of his stand up because I liked his page on Facebook. Yeah. It's a lot like, oh, that's how he is on the show. And so like I find that very interesting also that like.
Oh, it definitely. I mean, even when he started the show, he talked about wanting to do stand up comedy. He was probably 25 years old. And then he's just turning 30, I think, this year. And he said, like, last year, he's like, "Well, if I turn 30 and haven't done stand-up comedy, I'm just going to kill myself." So, and I was like, dude, then you have to get up. You've been talking about it now for 5 years. And then now he hasn't. He hasn't missed. He's stood up every single week for the last year now. So he's
actually, a part of that is for the show, and I told John this before, too, because we were, like, talking about it. I was like, I don't know, it's probably expensive, stuff like that. But I kind of want to do something. I think John was like, one time, he was like, "Why don't you guys do a show?" And I was like, "I think it's expensive." And John was like, "Well, I think you guys should do a show." So that actually made me sit down and be like, "How expensive is it?" And actually, it's really that expensive when you split it like 3 ways.
Totally.
And then, like, once you buy it once, then you're good. I mean, unless the shit breaks, you know what I mean? But, so.
Yeah. No, I think you guys are killing it, though, and I'm glad you guys ran with it, and you're doing awesome.
It's become like a passion project over time, you just love it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I listen to you guys now. I listen to you guys as soon as it comes out. It's definitely, super fun. I always listen to iFanboy first. You guys have taken iFanboy above because it's like I can't listen to Josh complain anymore. But
is that all? I don't listen to iFanboy.
Yeah. See, I used to listen to it, and I fell off the wagon of listening to it
because they had a YouTube show way long ago, and that's how I started. Right? Yeah, that's how I started.
That's how I started too.
Is on. Yeah, I think I even remember back when like John introduced me to you like a long time ago. You even said like, "Oh, I watched iFanboy." I was like, "I think you're the only other guy who's ever said that in my presence."
I think it was at your birthday party when you went the first time. I think we talked about it.
Great episode.
Great.
Hey, I've been an episode of Comic Book. Go check it out.
Yeah.
The last episode.
Oh yeah, and friend of the show, David's in that.
Yeah,
he's been in a couple too, though.
Yeah. Great time.
Find them youtube.com/comicbook. I just double checked that is your URL. So
oh yeah, a comic book look. Make sure you get that A in front of it.
On Facebook, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's facebook.com/groups.
You have to go groups / a comic book look.
I joined their group. They post their videos every Wednesday, Sergeant, you guys should do one about the poll list, and then Tom throughout the week.
Yep, I try to get mine in whenever I can, and Sarge will post his on. Sometimes he forgets because he's a fool, but he usually gets it there.
You don't waste any time, though. You're like in the car, and you're like, let's do a video, like right outside the shop.
Technically, what we do, sometimes we do at the shop, because you've been...
I walk by in the background, and I was like, hey, they're doing the show.
And, of course, all the lovely people that walk by and see us do this. We've also gotten into hitting happy hours at like Bracco's or other places, grabbing some food and all that, and then once we're fat and lazy, then getting into it. So.
There you go.
I would think, though, that you have less motivation or more motivation after you eat. Does it weigh you down a little bit?
It depends. I mean, we kind of carb load, low sugars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're ready. We're ready to go when we hit the boom.
There.
This this last intro, though, still catches me off guard. Tell me I'm pretty. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm the nervous co-pilot on the Sarge channel. Believe that.
On Sarge, for people who don't know what you're talking about, on Sarge's last video, it looks like he doesn't even know he's recording, and he says to the camera, "Tell me I'm pretty." And then he's like, "Hey, I'm Sergeant America coming in at you." And boom!
That's how you get it rolling. I mean, and I'm no edit Mike. I don't edit anything. I screw up and I just keep going through, and you always get the heart from me. So
That's something I love about your show, but I can never do is the unedited thing. For me, like I have to like be like, this is how I want the show. But I love also, it makes me laugh, all the stuff like when you
Talking
start
about that fucking bell. That's totally unscripted. We never wanted that in the script.
I mean, post I take care of.
Oh, okay.
No, your guys' show sounds awesome. Mike's sounds terrible. I mean, that's that's the difference between
He's
editing
got that
and
improv
non-editing.
going on.
damn lazy is all it is. Tom, my wife hates all the videos that I put on the big TV when I Comcast it.
Yeah.
And we're watching it, and I'm like, oh, here's this one, here's this one. She goes, oh, I like Tom's. Look at all, he's got the words on there. I'm like, really? You hate every single video, and this is the one you enjoy.
Take an extra 25 minutes to do it right.
Let's get into some reviews.
Hey, I got one thing.
Well,
I
go
want to
ahead.
hear you say, "Tell me I'm pretty."
Alex, tell me I'm pretty. You're weird.
Yeah, you're creepy.
Creepy.
Speaking of pretty, Batman number 28, but written by Tom King, art
Hashtag
by
not my Batman still?
Mikhail
or-
Janin.
I don't think he'll ever be my Batman.
So we have, what's this, part 4 of War Joking Riddles. Actually, technically, part 3, there was an interlude. Do you count the interlude as a part?
Is this not an interlude still?
No, this is actually part of the story.
No, I'm just saying. Did you guys read it? It seemed
Yeah.
it-
He's still
Interlude-ish.
he's still telling the story from the future, so it's kind of weird.
Absolutely. It's like, dude, this is a sick story that's going on. I mean, Joker has taken over a whole entire chunk of Gotham, and Riddler's taken over. He's got the whole entire thing wired and all this other stuff. But we didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's like every cool thing that he talks about is he's just talking about it.
Past tense.
So it's like a picture of Catwoman and Batman sitting around, and it's like, wow, I would love to see all of this stuff that you're explaining, but it's
Right.
not
Yeah.
in the damn comic.
It's too much prose. Like, I think, like, he's like, oh yeah, they wanted to kill me. It's like, you're not even in the fucking book. Like, there's no stakes for you in the middle of this story. It's just like all of your.
And why did we have to have Gordon change and go down to his skivvies?
That's the Joker
Dramatic.
wanted
I
him.
guess, yeah, one shout out for
The Joker
Johnny.
wanted him that way.
It was to play back, of course, on the idea of a killing joke and how he had him tortured.
Oh, that's right.
And,
I suppose.
So
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Well, the weird
that.
thing that never even occurred to me.
That
It's
didn't
like,
occur to me either.
Joker, you got
It's
you're
true.
weird.
You know that I don't mind telling it as a story. The only thing I do mind is, I think I said when the issue 1 came out, we reviewed it. Not issue 1 of Batman, but what was the first issue of the arc?
25.
Was that Batman keeps doing in the story where he's like, yeah, and there's a big fight, and it kind of seems like it's Seinfeld. He's going, and yada, yada, yada. Next thing, let's jump to the next part. People died. And what's this weird, like, I don't know if it's supposed to mean something or if it's some weird thing, like as a joke or what. But that part of the comic where he's like, 5 days, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
I know. I thought he was having a stroke.
I was like, what's happening with this guy? Is he like, we're supposed to infer
like
that
days,
something's wrong with him?
5 days.
Yeah, is he a robot?
Are you?
Is it fake Batman?
Days. I was.
Because maybe it is hashtag not my Batman. Maybe he's a robot.
This is year 1 for him, I guess.
I feel like Tom King at this point is now everybody's telling him, you're the new thing. You're the one. You're going to be the big. You're the next Grant Morrison,
Yeah.
you're the next, you're going to knock everything out of the park. And so now he's like, yeah, I can do anything. I can, narrate this whole entire storyline. And then I can have Catwoman and Batman constantly repeat each other. And like, I don't know.
Did you say 5 days? 5 days.
But it's just like, I feel like
that?
he is awesome, but let's like let him, I don't know, like get the editor in there to be like, hey, if you're going to talk about all this cool shit, you have to figure out a way to show it to the people, you know?
I don't want to
Yeah.
see like a big wide spread of like a one punch and this fight happened, all these people died.
Yeah, I mean,
See
was
you
the
next
spread
time.
beautiful with Deadshot?
Yeah.
And
It's a beautiful mess,
Deathstroke?
this whole
Art
thing.
was
Beautiful.
great.
Yeah.
Art was
Beautiful.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That interlude we didn't talk about on the show. I love that interlude about Kite Man. It was so good. And then we get back to the story, and I'm like, okay, so it feels like a good 12-issue story that he's trying to tell in 6.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
somewhere
I agree.
cutting.
Well, I wish that they would have done this as a separate thing and not have it be the ongoing. Because this should take
He
me
did,
out of the
yeah.
book.
Well,
Tom
you can
King
tell
did
that whole
mention-
Catwoman
yeah.
Batman thing. That's only in there because he doesn't want you to forget that the last thing
Yeah.
was the proposal.
To be fair to
He's gotta
Tom, he
hold
did
that
say in
over
an
for-
interview that he actually this war of Joke and Riddles was not part of his original story. He actually wrote it as like going to be like an original story, like that would come out like a miniseries. And DC was like, "Hey, we like that miniseries. You should put in your Batman run." He's like, "But it doesn't make sense." They're like, "Hey, put in the Batman run."
Oh.
So you can tell, like you
Yeah,
said,
because
It does
it's
not
like,
work.
They like were forced to kiss as she's like breaking into the thing. It's like, well, you're gonna make out right here as
Yeah.
she's stealing this stuff, and Batman's like, well, I'll give this little make out sesh right here.
You're kind of cute.
and I like her old costume though. Like the
yeah.
art
Oh,
is beautiful.
The art, I would say, that's 6 out of 6 beers right there. I mean, that is beautiful art,
Yeah,
no doubt about
this
it.
issue especially. I thought we were talking before. Janin feels like he's kind of for the first couple issues was like not really
Rushing.
full Janin.
Yeah.
This was full Janin.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. And the storyline, great storyline. The premise, good premise. This whole entire story's premise. It's just the actual delivery
way it's told, yeah.
is like, it just leaves something to be desired. But then again, you could argue that, hey, maybe he is just trying to go for a different style of storytelling. He's trying to do something different. And that is like a Tom King approach, to try to do something a little bit different. So, I can also see like the argument being like, well, I kind of like how it is drawn back and decompressed, but I guess when I'm in the comic at the time and you tell me cool stuff, it's like,
Yep.
show me
I need
cool
to see
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
I need to see it because I'm missing out. There's a lot of death and a lot. He's talking about
The,
128 people died because he blew up
yeah,
a building.
the Deathstroke.
I didn't see the fucking building blow up.
Yeah, especially out of a Batman book. You think they'd maybe do like a one shot and be like, oh, that fucking thing we talked about, this is in that comic. Like,
Yeah.
gave you, here's 30 pages
That's
of
what
the
I
fight.
wanted to ask you guys because you probably read more. Like, is the Deathstroke and Deadshot fight in a different comic?
No,
No.
not at all.
Because it's like, that'd be a sick
it would be awesome, but it's
Well, I was
not.
telling
There's
Garrett
no
it should
way.
be called Death Shot and
Yeah.
just show them duke it out in the city.
Because that's a problem with two assassins. What are you doing? I mean, if they don't hit the bullets, what else? Or they have to hit each other several
Right.
times. And I think that's what we missed out on. Is there should have been more to it. It should have been a play on how they're getting to each other, and then getting in hand to hand is what they need.
Well, with how much prestige they have, what a waste of story not to show that.
Also, like if you think about that, so the point of the whole issue, I believe, I don't. Maybe you guys disagree or
I don't know. You see how that
Is
ended?
I know
Deadshot
what
got surgery.
That's what I say.
Let's
Deadshot.
hug.
So he's saying, "Hey, I'm going to tell you about a bad thing I did once." So he beat Deadshot so bad that he almost died. That's his thing. But doesn't Batman do that normally? Like he beats people up.
I've seen
all the
Batman
time.
take a shotgun and bend it down to someone's foot to blow
he
their
told
foot off.
Catwoman
so-
like, "Hey, you might not like me after this, but I almost killed Deadshot." And it's like, pretty sure you beat them that hard every time. And now you're finally telling us, "Hey, he almost had like an aneurysm. What was it? He almost died." Like that's the first time we saw the repercussions. Yes, but I'm pretty sure you beat them that hard every time. I don't know what's going on.
But Batman punching him, it was one page. So it
was
was
gonna
like,
say-
oh, you beat him so hard in 3
hey,
panels?
he doesn't need more than one page.
But see, now I didn't get the I didn't see the abuse happening. Like it's 3 what looked to be tiny little punches.
And then like one wasn't a punch. One was a a throw over the shoulder. And then it was this. So then I was thinking like, oh, the reason that he was able to do this so easily is because they've been battling for 4 days. They got to
Right.
be like run ragged.
Yep.
And that's why Batman can just come in and wipe it out. Because if he couldn't, he should have been there 4 days later, saved 150 people's lives, and then just
Yeah, why did it take him 4 days?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time figuring out how he can't find them. They're shooting, they're beating the shit out of each other, paces are blowing up. You should already be there and incapacitate both of them. No problem.
I felt it was because they set up that Gordon said beforehand, like, we can't go into the city. As soon as we go into the city to stop this,
When has Batman ever given a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
There's more reason. Let them meet, and then I'll go beat the shit out of everybody who's left.
And also at this point, isn't Batman just being a dick? Every time Gordon talks to him, he's like, I'm not going to stay for the rest of this conversation. See ya. He like turned around. He was like, he's gone again. When he's basically telling him, people are going to die. Here's what we need to do. And he turns around, Batman's gone. It's like, all right, I guess you want to hear the rest. I just feel like if they ever turned this War of Joke and Riddles into, because they won't turn into anything comic wise anymore, but like if they turn it into its own animated movie, I'd be like, that's going to be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But I also thought that was the most foolish part is when you see the two groups, I'm looking at them going, those people would not follow Riddler,
I was gonna ask about
and
that,
those
too.
people will not follow Joker. Because following Joker is like everybody's saying, you know what, we're not going to shoot. We're just going to start throwing grenades because it's that reliable when you follow the Joker.
Yeah.
And Enigma, he's not that powerful.
No, that's what I was wondering. It's like, so Deadshot's on one side and Deathstroke's on the other side. They just need like one mercenary here, one here. They don't, like you said, that's not like, why would Deathstroke? You think the Riddler's going to have cash? Oh, I guess he does have cash. But why is Deadshot with Joker? Joker doesn't have cash. He's just crazy.
And it is, it's just one of those, that's definitely a concept in this story that it's, hey, this is superhero comicking and we got to just split sides and it's not going to make sense, but it's going to be really cool.
The only thing that makes sense is if Joker tells everyone who's on his team, I will kill you and everyone you know and love.
Sure.
And if you don't, I'll castrate you right now. That because it wasn't Mr. Freeze on Joker's team, which makes no sense to me. At least in this,
I think so.
In
I don't
this Rebirth doesn't make sense to me.
As a villain guy, John, I would love to see your take on this, though. Seriously, I mean, it's like
my first question is this. All right, so I'm a continuity boy. Why is Clayface involved with this at all? If in Detective Comics he's part of the Bat Team.
Yep.
No, this takes place after his first year.
Okay,
so this is in the past.
This is unacceptable.
So, like we keep saying, there's no medium well stakes in the story. That's what
Art wise, I do find like if you like continuity, Batman does have his old costume, doesn't have the purple cape thing. So I thought that was nice.
New 52.
Yeah, I was like, hey, at least Janet knows to go back.
At least he doesn't fuck that up. Holy cow.
I give it a 7. I mean, it's I'm
going to give it a 6.
I'm at 6.
This is definitely a hashtag not my Batman.
Said, by the way,
you guys do your beer.
You guys
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. I'm not understanding these numbers.
So my 6 would be like 3 out of 6 beers. So like 50% basically.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Google Translate.
I mean, I would give this like 3.5 beers. You know, I'll go on your rating. I would be like 6.5 because I go like right in between because I can see how good this could be, and it's just like because the delivery isn't there.
Yeah,
maybe that even me saying that though makes me want to like give it a 7. Then
yeah,
you got to fight that urge. Don't give in. Just go with your gut.
There's a lot of potential with it, but I think that since this event started, it's kind of been a drag. I think the highlight for me was the LOL tweet I posted where Bruce and Catwoman were talking in bed, and I was like, Bruce is looking like shirtless bear fighter up in here. And then the creator the page liked it, which was even more awesome. So,
sweet.
Yeah. But, I think it has a lot of potential, but we'll see how it goes coming up, because maybe we'll get a WoW issue out of it. And if we do, that's a win. But, yeah, other than that, though, prior to this event, this run of Batman has been fun.
Yeah, I like the Catwoman. Storyline. The 24, I think was 24 the last one for?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was one of my
Shades of Grey.
Was one of my 50 favorite issues of the year. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens after. I think maybe that's what's most frustrating for me is like she's still there. So obviously this takes place after 24, but we're like not going forward with that story. So like he's just telling her a story and she's just sitting there to listen to him, and it's just like. Hey, you and you asked her. Hey, what up with that question? I asked you to marry me. What happened? Like, let's go.
And it's going to be. She said no. And then we had awkward sex.
Yeah, right.
Then he's like, "Oh, by the way, let me tell you a story."
I don't know. Like, I trust Tom King, but it's still happening. Like every arc, there's just one issue that I hate to death, and then like most of them around it are really good. So that's the thing. It's like It's like Michael Bay movies. Like, it's probably going to be a shitty movie, but it's going to look so fucking good being shitty,
Lens flares.
Yeah.
Still try to go to every Michael Bay movie in the theater because I got a 13-year-old boy inside me still.
Yeah.
It's like, I love them. I love them. I love one viewings of Michael Bay movies.
Last viewings.
Yeah, one and onlys.
You know what else we got? We got Hadrian's Wall. Was it number 8?
8?
Yeah.
I'm missing a number. Hadrian's Wall number 8, written by Kyle Higgins and Alex Siegel, art by Rod Rice.
So we have the conclusion to this miniseries. By the way, I remember when we first started, I was like, oh, this is a miniseries. Like, I don't know how they're like. It feels like it's bigger than this, but it's like a self-contained story within like a bigger world. So they could probably do more stuff. What do you guys think about who read this? Because I'm not sure out of you three who read this. You didn't read this. Tom did. What do you guys think of the? Oh, you just read them all back to back.
Yeah,
How's his read as like one read?
Right.
Well, I actually thought it was good. I mean, so I didn't read them all back to back, right? I read 1 through 7 all back to back, and then had to wait. And I just read number 8 today, this morning. So then only a week, so pretty close back to back. But I have to confess, I mean, I don't like Kyle Higgins' writing a lot of times. Okay. And so I know like a lot of people like him. It's kind of like a Sam Humphries for me. Like I always like Sam Humphries, where you guys were hating on him all the time. I wanted to give you elbow drops after every.
Hey, now we love him though.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. And, but I mean, I think he's good. But this one, you could tell first of all, he's a little crybaby crying about his breakup in the back. I mean, I love back matter. It's like one of my favorite things. I just like gobble it up. Alex, you should start doing it. And so it's like, okay, I get it. You know, you are. But then it's like, oh, how weird that 3 issues later, 3 or 4 issues later after your breakup, it's just like the conversation you would have with your friend during a breakup, the conversation you'd have with your ex during a breakup, the conversation you have this. And it's like, well, I thought this was like a murder mystery, and then you find out the murder. I, as a whole, I was not blown away. First of all, the art in the computer, like rendered art, is really kind of cool and gives it a tone of hard sci-fi that I really like. I like the like gritty whodunit kind of stuff, and I like the main character who's on painkillers and all those other things. It just felt like it pulled me out when it got way too emotional during kind of the middle.
Yep.
And then this issue goes freaking bananas. People are just starting to freaking kill themselves.
Yeah.
Just like give up hope. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
At the end of issue 7,
Space 2049, kill yourself.
The space pirates take this thing that they mined that could. They thought it was going to be able to blow up the Earth. That's what they're going to use it for.
I thought when the pirates showed up, this story became not good.
But then they figured out
because it got too much.
Yeah.
They figured out that actually that it is not. There's like a short amount of time that it's explosive, and after that it's not good anymore. So they're like, okay, we're just going to leave all these people on the ship to die. Turn off the life support, and so issue 8 it starts with them on that ship, slowly dying, and them killing each other. Like, hey, the rest of you survive without me. Jumping out of the ship,
like one person just dies, like leaves a note, it's like, hey, I'm just giving you guys a few extra hours. Here's some syringes. You guys can all kill yourself now because it's the only peaceful way to go. That was like 4 issues ago. I was worried about like, hey, I wonder is it this person? Is it that person? What's this guy going to do on drugs? Now it's like everybody's going to kill themselves right now.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is quite the end. But I mean, like Garrett, you just said, I mean, it just ended up being way too many like concepts. Once the pirates came in, it was like, now you're just throwing in a lot of different
just
things.
to make the plot make sense. And you know, I think the series went out. Well, it was trying to kind of do like the Rogue One where we kill all spoilers, everybody off. But like the worst part about it is the 2 main characters survive. I would rather them die than fucking.
The natural end of this book was them freezing to death together.
Yeah,
not necessarily in a relationship. They died. They said, "Oh, you know what? We're done fighting. Let's be friends. We can die together here." No. Let's save everybody's life who's still on this fucking ship. Just be dead.
Agreed. If they would have all died, I would not have said the things, because all these things I would say, because I would be like, dude, Kyle Higgins, he just like went for it. He was just like, guess what? You are going to be sad. You're going to be depressed. You're going to not like this ending. And if I would have closed that page and I knew it was the final page and nothing more was coming and they were dead, I would be like,
holy shit.
Damn.
Yeah, I say my mind would have been blown and excited, not excited by death, but just excited to know that you took the chance and didn't have this.
It would have been better.
That was my main takeaway. Was they have a nice moment where they forgive each other. They say, hey, I wasn't always the best person. I was the best person. So it's like that moment in the breakup where they've breaking up and was that you? Oh, they break up. It seemed like it came from over there. They broke up and they had time away from each other enough to be like and seeing what happened with the relationship and be able to talk about it in a healthy way.
Totally.
Like, God, that's so good. And then like you said, they get frozen. And I was like, this would be the perfect way. Just let them die. Like they're at peace finally with their relationship. They're gonna die on the spaceship. It's a nice poetic ending. And then they get rescued, and they don't even decide to stay together. And he, at the end, it's basically him just leaving the hospital being like, deuces,
Yep.
adios.
Later.
I'm done.
He was kind of like for a second there, like he's like, "Hey, we're alive." And
See,
she's
but
like,
you're right.
"Fuck you." She's like, "I'm gone."
You're right, though. I think a lot of it is like Kyle was just telling us what happened with him.
Yeah.
So like he left the relationship and now that's just him moving on to the next thing. But in terms of story, like, does that make the story better? I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it does make the story better, but then don't cry to me in the back pages about all of these things you're going through. I know, I do understand, dude. Breakups could be like insane on a person's emotions. But then when you tell me how insane it is on you, and you're going through this thing, and then like 3 issues later, where it would coincide with you writing those scripts for these ones that are coming out a few months later at that time, it's like, well, I can just see through it. But I wanted to ask, have you guys read that Cowl?
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
other thing.
Yeah.
Cal's good.
So is it the same characters or just the same
no, it's
world?
different.
Same team.
It's the same
creative
team.
Same creative team, but a
not-
different world.
Yeah.
Well, we assume. I mean, they could pull some bullshit later
That's
and
the
be
only
like,
thing.
"That's the future." But
I actually did think this book was decent, but not great, not good. I mean,
And
Average.
you know what? I thought it was good too, and I'm glad I read it. I like after reading it, I'm glad I read it. You know,
Right.
but the whole time reading it, I kept thinking, like, wow, I wish they brought Cal back. Like Cal was like good, like
when
excellent.
it left, I was sad because like it's kind of what Black Hammer is accomplishing now. I'm like, they could have done that with Cal, but I think they were just like basically Kyle's very emotional in his back material. He was like. He's like, I don't think we can live up to this pressure. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? You're successful. You're always going to have pressure. Like, just keep going. But
I think he's one of those people, he's afraid to rise and actually go up against the challenge. It's just like, it's getting too hard. I got to back off and be done. It's like, no.
The thing I
embrace it and just take it as it is.
going to Alaska.
The thing I loved about Cal's, and I wanted to talk about the art for a second. Rod Rice, I really do like his art. He's doing the
Secret Empire.
Secret Empire, like the whatever Steve Roger
Dreamscape.
parts, Dream Space, whatever that is. Anyways, but I think actually those parts are really beautiful in Secret Empire. And Cal, I think the way he draws Chicago, like a rainy Chicago, it's like a noir kind of style. His coloring in that is awesome. In this, there's so many places that are just look like the inside of a ship, like a warehouse, and like blank backgrounds that are just like colored. It feels like, I don't know, it just feels like he could do more with that.
Sure.
Or maybe he was just like, draw like an inside of a ship. Like when they did space stuff, I thought that was beautiful. But then when they went inside the ship, it felt like all the same rooms. They were always, I never knew what the hell they were. They were all in the same damn room.
For sure. The best part of that is like how cool are like the satellites and those like different little things that like have a retro feel to them, but like 1950s version of the future. It's like, I love all those little things.
It feels like you're in like one of the Alien movie ships.
Yeah.
And then they pull it back.
By the way, I agree with you. When the Pirates came on, I read 6, 7, 8 back to back today. Not back to back, a couple hours, but 6 I thought was like so boring. I was like, what's going on
because
here?
they told you what happened. They were just like, yeah, you fucking made a deal with pirates. All right. Now
That was
we're
in
gonna
7.
deal- That was in 7?
Yeah, that was in 7.
No
6,
way.
6 was just them arguing, being like, hey, you got to figure out who killed him. Okay, let me figure it out. Otherwise, we're just going to kill, what's her name?
Kill Annabelle. Yeah,
we're just going to kill Annabelle. You got 7 hours to figure it out.
Oh yeah,
just them back
that
and
was
forth.
a total middle of the road. But then you're like, yeah, this thing needs 8 issues after that one because almost, I guess not really. That last issue was almost worthless. But
that's what I mean. I feel like there could have been some cuts and it felt tighter, and there was some delays. Like I think the last 7 came out in
huge
March,
delay
May.
halfway through.
Yeah, so I feel like if it just would have came out month after month, cut it to like 6 instead of 8, I think this thing would have been excellent. But I think, I don't know, it felt like he wanted to get in, like you said, all the points about his personal life. So he's like, I got to add some issues to this thing. So it was like a 7 for me. But like a 7 that only if somebody had read Cal, I'd be like, hey, you should check this out because actually the team did something else too. But if it was like somebody new, I'd be like, I don't know if it's really worth your time reading that.
I would give it a 7 just based on the art. I mean, it works better than the story does, I think. So
The art's great. I like
I think if they had killed everybody off, I would have given this an 8. I'm going to give it a 6 because I don't know. I didn't need the escape route. I needed it to be final.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about just this issue out of the series, I'd give this issue a 4.
Yeah.
Respect. I give that respect.
Well, I mean,
love it.
I liked where it was going, and it's like you had a chance to get a 10.
Yeah.
You would have had a 10. Like, that's how big that jump would have been because Nobody does that. You know, it's like that's the move that's unfounded.
I was actually looking forward to, because on the forecast, Garrett's like, we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be a happy ending. They're going to get back together, all this stuff. So when they were dying and like having this moment, I was like, whoa, Garrett's wrong. It's
Exactly.
It's going to be fucking Empire Strikes Back.
And
it's
then-
going to be dark. And then a page of like, I think it was like, there was a page of black. And
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was
oh,
like
here we
spatter
go.
or
I was like,
something,
wow, here we go. And then I turned to the next page. They wake up in the hospital. I was like, yep, Garrett's right. Good to go.
Come on.
Yeah, so I mean, super disappointing in that way. I feel like taking the easy way out. So take that, Kyle Higgins.
Yeah.
He's writing that Nightwing next.
Which I'm still going to get that because I love Kyle Higgins on Nightwing.
What?
There's
He's doing
Sealy?
a 6-issue mini.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a mini. It's a
Its own
mini.
thing.
It's a mini like Nightwing event.
Yeah,
with like
right.
everybody in it, but he's not writing the main series. Yeah.
Right. So Sealy's staying on.
Good.
All right. A book that was not as bad as Hadrian's Wall was Hawkeye #9, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Leonardo Romero, colors by Jordi Belair. You don't like my transitions?
No, I was going to cough.
I'm like, I got to do it.
Did you guys read any of this? Hawkeye?
I read it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't read Hawkeye,
But you read 9?
but I read this one for the show.
I think this one would be easy for you, like coming on. Were you confused?
Oh, I
very
had
much?
no, hell no.
Yeah, because I
And
think
I'm
they
not
did
even
a
close.
good
I don't get
with
confused.
flashbacks.
Oh, I do get confused.
They were explaining why her
We'll get
father
to a
was
book
involved.
today that I was very confused
Oh,
on,
yeah?
but
Why was
yeah.
Clint Barton a woman?
You know what? Yeah, you're right, because this book is not, I mean, it's not like a lot of, it's not complex. It's very simple. It's about Kate dealing with, she found out something about her dad. She's trying to come to, so here's my bad memory coming into play. Did we figure out who her mom, like, I forgot what the necklace is about. Do you remember?
The necklace was given to her mother, and now Madame Mask gave that necklace to Kate, basically being like, hey, I have your father with me, like, come hang out, you know, and then we'll have our little evil talk.
Come see.
But comes to find out, like, you know, her dad has powers of, like, persuasion, kind of like the Purple Man. And so earlier on in the series, we see flashbacks of Kate's mom and dad, like, you know, wishing her to have fun
Oh,
at
yeah.
prom and things. But the whole time you never noticed her dad's holding her arm. So doing the persuasion thing the entire time, which gave me fucking chills. It's like dead silence at the end where you're like, you know, the puppet movie. I was like, holy shit. She's controlled the whole time. You don't get that reference.
I've never seen that movie.
Did the Muppets take Manhattan? I love that one. I got that reference.
On a roll with it, man.
I think this is one of, and I still think, because it's, you know, for you not to be confused, this is the last issue of this arc. At a place where I think this is one of Marvel's best books because it's not so complex, because they're not trying to do a grand thing. They're just like, hey, this is a detective story and there's some family drama.
And I think they do the good, like, Stanley approach of, like, his motto has always been, like, every comic is someone's first comic, right? So make sure you know, like, within the first panel, they were, like, very key to use, like, Kate's name, Simon's name, I think it was Simone and Quinn or something like that, or Ramon or something like that. Right. Like her three friends, they were using their names like right away, like putting me into the actual story. I mean, I know enough about Hawkeye to kind of go in here. I don't even know who this character is at all, but I mean, you put me in like this weird all fight club like
awesome.
Thunderdome scene. It's like, yeah, this is like almost like a Toniel, like more adult version of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, because it's like so silly and fun, and she's like always having fun and like just like being lighthearted and positive, but then it's like more badass than Squirrel Girl.
You never read a book with Kate?
I don't think so.
This is
You
my
remember
first
Young
one with
Avengers?
Kate as well.
No, I don't
I
like
guess
it.
Young Avengers, but she was barely in the spotlight in that, I thought.
And
I mean, the original. There's like 3 Young
I
Avengers
guess
books.
you're
Yeah.
right.
So I read like the first 3 issues of Young Avengers and always was like, oh yeah, John, I'll read yours, and then I never did. So
It's a good book. I like Young Avengers.
I mean I need to read it. So yeah. I like new characters. I like when Marvel puts out new characters, so I should have supported.
She's somebody that's like been around enough that like it's the only thing I think we complain about the show, and actually something happened. If you ever go on internet, Twitter, a lot of people have been complaining lately about like new characters like taking over for old characters. And I think the only thing for us on the show, and I don't want to be confused with those jackasses, but for us on this show, it's just because like I like new characters, but I like them to be built. You know what I mean? Don't just put something in a book and be like, hey, this is your new, Hawkeye. She's been around for a long time, and I feel like she's she is Hawkeye. You know what I mean at this point. But so at this point, to get her own book, like I don't want Clint to come back, even though that Generations Hawkeye, it's by Kelly Thompson. So I think I'm actually going to get it because I think Kelly is a really good writer in that her book feels very fresh. Like when I read that Hawkeye book, it doesn't feel like a Marvel superhero book. There's some books that feel like, hey, this came from Marvel. Like I know right away.
Oh, definitely not. It felt like it could be an image book, especially with like the art as well. I mean, I think it's Jordi Belair on color, so it's like you have the level up on there, but then just the way the drawing is not in like the Marvel style. It's not muscles. There's like it's not like big boobs and butt sticking out and shit like that. It is strictly just like good storytelling, good acting, and like more of a
the art tells a lot of the story. So Romero's art. He does a lot of things where he'll like show a scene and then like focus in parts and tell you like what case scene. Like, all
so
that.
Good, yeah.
And also, it's also funny. Like there's parts with Pizza Dog where like that point where he winked and said wolf, like made me laugh so much. I don't know why. It's like the dumbest thing in like reading comics, a dog winking at the camera and saying wolf. But like that was a part I was like, hey, that's what this book is. It's parts with her husband, her dad, and her mom being like, oh shit, this is serious. And then the next thing I know, the dog's winking at the camera and I'm laughing. So
one of the parts I thought was really funny where she was like, she's in, so there's a part that there's the Thunderdome area and she has to fight this dude who like starts on fire and he has weapons. So she's like, oh, I'm going to try to get my weapons.
Yeah.
But first then she's like, oh, my dad had superpowers. So maybe I have superpowers and I guess I still don't have superpowers, so got to keep fighting.
Right, I thought it was cool.
It was just like, that was like so lighthearted and like fun comic booking that I was like, yeah, I'm on board with this. For sure.
Even like the pop culture references. Normally I hate that because it feels so edged in. But in this book, especially when she's I'm in the Thunderdome, hopefully I can leave. I'm like the winner. I'm like the queen of the Thunderdome. Hopefully just Master Blaster and like that made me laugh just because I've seen Thunderdome and I love that movie. But normally I'd be like, okay, like they're like trying to appease like fans, but like nobody loves Thunderdome. No one who knows what fucking Master Blaster is. But Kate does seem like somebody who would be into Master Blaster and Thunderdome. So like it makes sense her references, not just they're in there for whatever. I thought it was a strong 9.
I'd give it a 9. I agree with you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it the whole time. I mean, maybe that'd be incentive for you to go back and get the beginning because it's been just a solid
since 1
the whole way. So
yeah, I mean, I'd love to catch up on Hoopla if Marvel got on board, you jerks. But
free content, Marvel, never,
not happening. Hey, trade $18 now, not 15. But I 9 out of 10 as well. I mean, maybe it's close to a 10 out of 10. I mean, it was cool, it just didn't have, I guess, the one.
And that cliffhanger, by the way, I assume they're trying to get us to think that's her mom, which it probably won't be. But.
Yeah, and then that cliffhanger was completely useless to me. Right. It's like, well, okay. So
silhouette of a woman. All right.
I'll give it a 9. I had to think about it.
I like when also it reminded me at the end when she's looking for her frozen peas to put on her face because she's bruised up. She's like, I have no peas left. And she's like, I guess I gotta go buy more peas or make sure to put them back in the freezer so I have for next time. She goes, or buy ice packs. I guess you can buy ice packs.
That was great. I loved it. It was so funny. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they sell ice packs. and then that's so funny because the panel at that time is her just holding a microwave dinner to her face. So, I mean, it's like, it's very funny.
And then it turns around and then we have like a serious, like, oh, is that her mom? Yeah. And then, like I said, it goes between those funny and like serious, but never feels like it's convoluted. I mean, not convoluted, but disjointed at all. It feels like this is Kate. So, good book. I like it a lot.
I agree. I mean, it's not easy for me to put another book on my pull list, but it's like, I definitely, next time it's up, if it's not a huge week, I might get it.
It definitely, speaking of like the art and even the writing, Kelly Thompson and Leonardo Romero, like put them on my radar. I'll probably get whatever they do next. That's why I'm gonna get that Generations book. Leonardo's not doing the art, but Kelly Thompson's writing it. So 7 to Eternity number 8, written by Rick Remender, art by James Herron, colors by Matt Hollingsworth. The part 2 of the Cantina scene, as Garrett calls it. We
is this the one that you're
gears.
Confused about? Dude.
We switched gears. We went from the main story to the side story about them trying to save. You know what the thing about this book is, and it's still, I complained about 2 episodes ago, and I still am in the same mindset. I still don't know who everybody is. Like, they need some sort of like character map at the beginning or something, because they all, especially with the art change, a lot of them look alike.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's who. Like, I'm 8 issues in. I should know who's who. Like, I only know, like, the King or God of Whispers. What do they call him? Mud King.
Mud King.
The Mud King and the main guy, which Adam, right?
Yep.
And his daughter. That's it. Like,
I don't even know the daughter's name.
I don't know her name, but I know what she looks like.
Oh.
But everybody else, I'm almost like, I see that robot guy, and I was like, was he in the last issue? Yeah, I think he was. And then I'll see the magic guy, and I'm like, okay, I think there's another magic guy though. And they talked about how she used to work with Mud King, and I was like, oh, that's right, that's her. I thought it was somebody else. Like, I'm so confused. Like,
you know, we've talked about it too. Jerome Pena is the artist who is on this, which unfortunately you got him on the cover, but you don't. He did the first arc, and then he's going to come back and do next issue. But him not being on that book, the art looks like shit, and it really muddles up.
James Harren's good.
James Harren is good, but this is not his book.
Yeah.
On Rumble, he's amazing.
And I think he is. I don't think the art was bad. The art is good, but because I read it. Yeah, but
Did you read Rumble?
I've never read Rumble.
Oh shit, Rumble's awesome.
But yeah, I would say that first of all, I like Hadrian's Wall. I didn't have time to read all of these, so I just was like, okay, picked it up this week, and yeah, I had no idea. I read it all the way twice. Zero idea what's going on. And
it makes you feel better. If somebody's been reading for 7 issues, this issue was confusing for me too.
Agreed.
I was like, what the fuck?
And then also Jerome Pena's name's on the damn cover. So I guess I didn't pay close enough attention because it was kind of like, oh, Jerome Pena, this is a no-brainer. Right? I mean, I'll have no problem even just loving it because just looking at it. And then, so I would say that this one, I couldn't even give it a rating when it all comes and said and done because I just didn't know what was going on. I can't give it a fair take because I clearly needed to read the previous issues.
You do, and I remember what happened in the last issue. Basically, Javali.
Oh, I remember. For a second, I thought I missed the issue because I was like...
But, like, the action, so, like, the whole story has been from the point of view of Adam Osiris, which is, like, the Luke Skywalker, basically. But now he's been gone for like 3 fucking issues.
I was gonna say they talk about talked about kind of like in these corners, but I didn't know where the basis was.
So I'm like so close to dropping this book.
I think
I'm only doing it for you guys.
I think the problem with this book is that Rick Remender is an amazing writer, and I read this book and I go, "This is not at all a strong book by you." Deadly Class, amazing. Tokyo Ghost, amazing. These books this man can write I love them. I almost hate this book because. I don't know. I don't know.
What the direction is.
Yeah.
I'm not that harsh on. I actually still enjoyed like the last half of the issue. I enjoyed more than the beginning because it took me a long time to be like, did I miss an issue? Like, what's going on? They talked about that sword for a long time, and we were never given any hint that sword was was significant at all. And all of a sudden they go into like, and I was like, what sword is that? What the fuck are they talking about? Whose sword? But then in the issue, I knew it's the frog sword, and I actually like that character a lot. That he's like, this sword says you're like the best bet for me to go with you, so I'm going to go with you. So like
that was like the only part that resonated with me because I just loved that guy. Like and then when he shows up with that guy, they're like, you're not bringing him with him, and they're like, look, we need anybody you can help, and then he's like, the sword says I can make money off this. I'm done with you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, I that was cool, and the sword looks badass. Yeah. He's like this toad dude with very very cool character design. So yeah, I mean,
so a lot of this issue was more for me being like, I'm excited to see how Opena draws this next issue.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you guys, and actually, Tom, you'd be nice to hear what you think. Do you think the frog eats all the money that he has?
He eats the gold, yeah.
But, so is it? It's not even payment for him to do the job. It's payment to feed the frog.
I'm sure there's some biology.
I thought it was
frogs.
something, I gave this a little bit of thought because I thought it was such a cool concept. Like, one of the things that ran through my mind was like, this is like his best friend. Like, he doesn't even care about money, doesn't really care about anything. He's like, I'd do anything for this frog, and he has to eat gold, so this is what I do because he's always going to be with me. And then another one was like, maybe he shits out gold stuff.
You have it later.
That's like, like when he needs to pay or something, it's like a bank, and he can be like, and then like, coin, bloop, 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 bloop. It's like his wallet.
You know something that they used to do at the beginning of this book, they don't do anymore? So remember when they used to use magic, they used to like call out spells and shit? And I was like, I love that so much, being like, they would do, because they remind me of D&D a lot. They would call out spells before they did them. And now they just do them. I'm like, okay, well, happy to calling out your spells.
You used to do journal entries too. Don't do that anymore.
I think I'll like the next issue because I really do like the main story. It just feels like for 2 issues.
I feel like we're getting a side story because it's now with Adam and the Mud King.
Yeah.
Why are you holding off for 3 issues on? probably
Well,
what the primary.
A few
plot
issues
should
ago
be,
in the back matter that you didn't read, they talk about. Didn't he talk about like he had an idea for this story and he kind of changed it a little bit? And I think that's what this is.
Ugh.
But
And, you know, I know you guys love Remender, but I mean, the dude has written a lot of just mediocre superhero comics as well.
true.
You know, like he has a lot of runs that started super
but you
hard
don't like
and strong.
Axis?
You know, exactly. And like X-Force, when that started and Jerome Pena was on it as well for the first 3 issues, it's like that was starting to be, that could have been like one of the best X books of whenever. And then like, you know, whatever, it sucked after 10 issues.
Oh, did it really? Because I only got issue 1. I was like, oh, this issue
like the
1's
best.
good.
Dude, the first 3 issues are like, well, this is amazing. This is going to be like finally a legendary X-Force run. And then it was like, it drops hard. And so I think at that time, though, that was during his transition over to being like at Image and going with his own stuff. So that could be why that dropped too. But there is, you know, he can write amazing stuff, no doubt about it. But like, I don't know. Have you guys read Fear Agent?
He hasn't.
I haven't read it yet.
So
I haven't read it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's like when I first met Remender, and it was like such cool concepts, such cool things mixed with stuff that was like, okay, get to the next thing, because I'm not really into it. And so the art was so cool, and it was like an up and down, and that's how like I always kind of see Remender stuff. So that's why I didn't pick this one up like originally, but now I kind of read this. It's like this is a hard sci-fi story, like with supernatural magic. So it's like you tie 2 really cool things, and
the magic. Before I thought the magic, like they used some of their life force for the magic. Wasn't that part of it?
That's all I understood.
And now
is
they're
that-
like using magic left and right, being like, "Foof."
But you might also be thinking of Doctor Strange by Jason Aaron.
No,
where
I'm not.
You use your.
Because they were talking about like on the farm, like the first issue, they were talking about how they can use magic, but it takes a lot out of them to use it. So I would have to go back and read it.
Because I guess I don't remember that.
Speaking of Rick Remender, I can't shit on him too much because writes my favorite comic of all time, Deadly Class. So.
Hey, no, I'm not shitting on him. He is probably top 5
good.
writers right now in comics currently. Don't get me wrong.
But I feel like Deadly Class is so good, and we talk about it all the time. It's because that's like his story. Like that's him as a kid. So it's more personal to him than like this story. So.
And I dropped Deadly Class after issue 3.
Oh, really?
So I have the first 3 issues on my shelf. I read them. I think it was at the time when I was getting out of comics, though. As in, like, well, and when I got out of comics, I just changed to reading like 5 books a month instead of 15 books a week. And at that time, I stopped reading Deadly Class, and then listening to you guys, like, you guys talk so highly of it that when now when I like see it on my shelf, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I got to get the rest of these, because I'm an Image guy. I want to have all the classic Image runs that, you know, people are critically acclaimed and are going to go on for a long time. So got to start getting Deadly Class.
Oh, dude, I'll admit the first like 6 issues are not they're inviting, but they're not as good as when you get further in that book. Holy shit, just shit hits the fan and you're blown away.
No, yeah, and I mean the way that you guys talk about it, it's like there couldn't be a better comic. Marvin puts it above Saga.
Yeah.
You know what did not blow me away this week? Was Superman number 28, written by Patrick Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi, art by Scott
I actually
Gabutsky.
agree.
Did you read this, John?
No, but I love that transition.
That was a good transition.
Now, I understand, because I read this one without reading hardly any others. I'm like read the first trade. I had heard people talk about it because, you know, it's the family vacation, and there was discussion on Saga on what is a filler, you know. And so I was thinking, is this filler? As I'm reading it, I'm like, I understand what they're trying to go for. I get the feeling that this is how I would like to do school. I'd like to learn about history. But when they showed the ghosts or the memories, I'm like, they better attack Superman. This is what I need.
Yeah, right.
And by the time I get to the end, I'm like, oh, I hate this.
I have one thing I want to say about this. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Country rockin' eagle. This was like such an overhanded. You know how like
They shoved history down
oh
your
my
throat.
god! You know how like Alan Moore? I don't know. I know you're an Alan Moore guy, so maybe have you read Prometheus or From Hell at all? I don't know, but so there's times where Alan Moore literally just gives you these history lessons through through like other people's eyes. So he'll like, and From Hell, there's like 150 pages of him just telling you the locations in Northampton, England. And it's like, dude, I mean, you're Alan Moore. You're the best of all time. So this is like, I can get through this. But then when you see it in your Superman book and they're trying to do the same Alan Moore, like give me history, like, and then it's just about America and things that we already know. And then like trying to pull heartstrings with some old soldier from like the 1850s, and then it's like, dude, so heavy-handed and such this is exactly the reason that like I just never pick up Superman. Like I never pick up Superman, and then when it comes on, I'm like, you know what? I hope it's really good. I want to be on Garrett's side this time because Superman. But I feel like every time I try to get into Superman, it's like fucking.
You just come in at the wrong time.
JMS has him not flying, or they have this. I've heard like Tomasi's the best. He knows exactly what to do for Superman. He knows exactly the tone of it. And then I was like, okay, yeah, hell yeah. It's like,
so you just read this issue? You don't read Superman?
No.
Did you read the last issue?
No, just this one.
Just this
the
one?
last issue was actually all right.
Oh, the last issue I thought was worse than this one. The last issue.
You thought this was better?
I
than
love
that?
this issue.
Oh, really? I like the last like 5 pages when he actually does go get the dead soldier
that part was pretty
to set the family at rest and let them
That was
finally.
cool, but
I agree. I almost cried actually.
I got goosebumps.
It made me smile.
But I felt like they were doing that on purpose, and it pissed me off that they were doing that.
But the first 20 pages of just oh my god, it was like Superman.
I didn't
1
like the first part either when he's like giving you history lessons. But issue 27, that's all it was. They went to random places.
But it wasn't as
they went to like
much.
5 places, and he taught you all about.
I'd rather
55
have
places.
the art tell the story like that one did than literally they take text from a textbook and put it in the book.
I didn't like that scene.
Or
yeah.
the fact that, like, at the beginning, Superman was like, Lois, why don't we recite this plaque?
I was going to say, during that scene, I did feel like, wow, they really just, like, took plaque. Like, they probably like, hey, we got to fill in some part of the script. Just put in what it says in the thing. We don't got to write that part. Just put it in.
Well, the Oz effect is coming up soon, and that's the big Superman.
No, Parallax next.
Yeah.
It'll be fucking
My
sad.
other issue, though, had to be him flying Lois and his son, and it's like, so he's wearing a Superman, quickly he switches. If anybody saw Lois Lane, the journalist or whatever, flying through the air, and they're like, that doesn't make sense. And it was just like, but I can't be seen as Clark Kent. I can lift our car with our license plates, but then I got to put it down and change. I'm just like, no, I don't like any of that. The secret identity is crap.
But that was the only thing he did that was Superman-like. Pick up an RV.
I like the other stuff. Like when he sat with them. I like the part basically I like is from when he sits with them at the picnic to have a happy birthday thing till the end. I agree. The beginning part was like, the beginning part was like, hey, let me tell you about. It did feel like him being like, yes, I'm a superhero, but let me tell you about the real heroes. Which is like, yeah, I know Superman thinks that way, but I don't need 2 issues of it.
It was just heavy-handed, and like it did almost make me cry, and then I felt like you were just trying to make me cry. Yeah.
The only thing that would have saved this book for me is for Lois to say Clark, and then the Griswolds to walk in for that vacation. That's what I needed. I needed a crossover.
Next stop, Wally World.
Yep.
Well, what bums me is this is a 2-issue arc, and they're already going back to Metropolis. They're literally 30 miles away at the end. And I'm like, so I spent $6 for you to go there and back.
And he flew the whole way.
Yeah, he flew the whole way.
That-
So why'd you get a fucking RV, first off?
I think that bugged me too. Is when he goes, "Yeah, I just flew over all this traffic, save us some." I was like, "Holy shit!"
But I filled the whole gas tank in the fucking RV. I give it a 5. I think this is the worst issue of the Rebirth run. Like,
I'm giving it a 3.
I think this arc was the worst.
Buddy, did you read the last arc?
Yeah, I agree.
What was the last? What are you talking about?
See, you don't even remember.
Oh wait, that wasn't a revenge with Manchester Black.
Yeah,
that's huge Superman lore. I love that.
Oh really? I hated it.
See, but that's the thing though. You're either going to get Superman that is like a man of the people, or you're going to get Superman that's like this convoluted Manchester Black like
dude.
arc
That's one of his
like,
biggest villains.
It's him. You might like that, and I might like him sitting down and having a picnic. So
No. See, the only issue that I liked like 100% is issue 7. At the fair is the best.
The fair one was good. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm getting hit and miss. Whether it's
these
I gotta
two were
choke you
supposed to
down,
be
or
like
here's a
that.
hero, a villain I've never even heard of.
I like when Superman is in the last issue. The part I really did like was that he was tired and he fell asleep in the sky when he was flying, and he fell to the ground. He's like, "Shit, I gotta go to sleep." But I like when they make him human like that. He's not some sort of god. And then this one, he's like, "Hey, let's go on a vacation." So like, I do like these moments. I mean, that's why I really do like this issue, because it's like, hey, let's go on vacation, but rather than, hey, let's fight this monster, and there's no way he's not going to kill me. So
This feels like a movie that didn't have a script and they're just writing something to.
I'll agree. There's parts where I felt like they were like, okay, we're going to have him go to DC. Hey, and then they just filled in that whole page is him reading that plaque, which is not their words. It's off that plaque. So like they just put it in there. So
This was the Nicolas Cage story of Superman as national treasure.
hey, the art was great in the last 2 issues, I thought.
Art was really good.
And I mean, it did, as much as I complained, is just because that stuff became over or like heavy-handedly, but it is very Superman-like to like get up in the middle of the night and be like, Lois is like, I wonder how long it's going to take you, and like go find the body, and then like,
it doesn't quite sound like he's going to go do something heroic. It's something they're about to have sex. How long is this going to take you?
I do see, but like in All Star, like my favorite issue is he takes Lois Lane on a date, and like that's my favorite issue of that whole thing.
but that's Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly, like the two great, are quite possibly the greatest, like comic book team of all time.
That's different. It was like this issue
the
was
most
like
personal Superman story ever.
this was like Magic School Bus mixed with like the middle.
I can't.
So it was just like I don't know.
Yeah, but didn't you see like when he was sitting there and they're telling the story, nobody's ever found him. It's been 154 years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he's like sitting there and be like, I can find him.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna do it because like I'm Superman and I know.
And that
That's
is
what I
very
enjoyed. That's the
Superman.
best part of the whole issue, but like everything was so forced in the beginning that by that point I was like, I still have to keep reading. Like,
So you
okay.
said it, Alex and Tom and me both all tear up at the end. Did you tear up at the end? Or Mike, did you
No,
tear
I
up?
thought it was a good. I thought it was a special moment, but
Man, I was making me cry.
I actually got really mad because I was like, I'm sure this guy was not even that good of a soldier. He probably was a traitor and he ran, and that's what happened to him.
He deserved to get shot and
Exactly,
stabbed.
yeah.
well,
Cynic.
he got his leg amputated, and I was thinking like Alex would think. I was like, let me see that his leg's missing before you wrap him up in the American flag. Never got to see the leg.
By the way,
Well, and can you imagine that? So it's like, oh, here's a dead body of your ancestor we just put on your vacation doorstep. Yeah, I know.
But you got a card from Superman.
Yeah.
by the way, what a shitty way to go. It's like he gets shot in battle. They amputate his leg and like, oh, you're safe, man. But he's next to the river and it overflows and it gets flooded and he dies. And it's like, move that thing away from the river. Like, why are you next to the river when it's raining? I don't.
Or there was doctors in that, and they said, well, we got to go.
Yeah, the doctors left, so they were all alone. It was, and I know everybody's gonna disagree. For me, it was a good 8.
Oh, I'm giving it a 3.
Wow. 3. I haven't heard that in a while. All right. Next
What'd
one
you
we
give
got.
it, Garrett?
I already gave it to you. I
say it
want to
again.
know what I did. I
Start
said
with
5.
I would not, with the 6-pack of beers, I would maybe give it the plastic thing that holds all of them together. That's what I would
to
give.
break open.
Going green.
Yeah, and I'd give it like 4 out of beer, or
4 out of beers.
4 out of 6 beers, because it still made me cry. It's just like
Probably like
made me
Ice
mad as well.
House or Keystone.
Yeah,
Kinda.
exactly.
Lazarus Pit material.
So I mean, that is like an 8. I'm not. I mean, it made me cry, and a lot of times, like that's enough. But it was so heavy-handed that it was like, this
Yeah.
is silly.
Hopefully the next one is a lot like it's smooth the whole way through. That's what I want to see.
You're right though. Like in any kind of medium, more so comics, like movies, it's kind of easier to because there's like music and shit. Like it's kind of like that's not neat for anything.
I just worried that this is why John's quiet most of the time. We didn't even plug him in. He's listening to beats.
That is for comics, like to elicit any kind of emotion to make me laugh like out loud or to like make me tear up.
Totally.
I always give it like an extra like point, being like it's really hard to do that via text and like pictures. So
Agreed.
Well, anywho, next book, last book of the day, X-Men Gold #9, written by Mark Guggenheim, art by Ken Lashley. I did not read this issue. I was supposed to. I missed my homework assignment, but
move the mic over to John because you got nothing to say.
All right, John.
failed.
What'd you think of it, John? I want to hear John. I want to hear John's take. He's the expert.
All right, so
aficionado.
they say never to judge a book by its cover. And I know we've been in the Jim Lee variants for a minute now. This month it was cool, bringing back some of that 90s flair, whatever. What's going on with the Colossus proportions on the cover? So that was my first complaint.
Oh, let me look it up.
It was pretty over the top, I guess.
Yeah, it was
And-
via 1993.
Yeah.
Style X-Men art.
Yeah. So I was a little concerned about that because I'm like, whoa. So that You know, with this book, my running joke is I'm always seeking the controversy, like issue 1, and I think I found it with this one. The book itself is interesting, though. It really taps into like just the current happenings of what's going on in the government with mutant kind, Kitty Pryde rocking that leadership. But man, the Hallmark Channel is invading the X Mansion like you wouldn't believe with all these couples going on. Like it's crazy. Did you guys read it?
No,
I
I dropped it actually.
Right up to
Okay.
eight, so.
Marvin, did you read this issue?
No, I don't get X-Men Gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
I'll go back with this. I mean,
You read it.
I
Yeah,
agree. This is
Valentine's Day. This should
I'm
come
on
out
X-Men.
February.
Yeah, I'm on X-Men Blue, but I'm also I'm a longtime X-Men reader, and I wanted to pick like one or the other. So it was either X-Men Gold or X-Men Blue. I just picked Blue, and now that I've read this, it's like I love. The reason I like X-Men comics is like I love the soap opera portion of it. It's like I love being like, who's with who? Who doesn't want this? I mean, why is this person like salty about this? Why don't they want to be on the same team together? Yeah. And then so do you get like the classic Kitty and Peter the whole entire time. They're like on the verge, and then Peter like so cheesily soap opera like perfect asks Kitty to marry him, and they're not even fucking dating. So then it's like that is like perfect old school X-Men. Yeah. I mean, not like, but like Chris Claremont version X-Men, where like everything was like relationship peaks and valleys, and then others try.
He can ask though, Colossus.
What's that?
They've been together before.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, they've been together for a long time, but they're like very known. Like it sets up this whole entire time that they're not together. Kitty's like, we're not together.
Yeah,
you know, we have to move on. We have to go beyond. We need to move on with our lives. We're not going to be a couple. And then like 2 panels later. Yeah. He's like,
softening up.
Will you marry me?
Yeah.
And so it's like I kind of liked how cheesy and shit that was.
Yeah. And you know, she's rocking the I need to talk to your supervisor haircut. So I think that's got a big part to do with it.
I think the art was shit though. I mean, like,
I completely agree.
Lashley is not good art.
I mean, there was times where there was 2 panels where they have Colossus like in the same like face. He's facing the same direction. Right above each other, and it looks like 2 different people. It's like, oh, is this someone else? Oh no, he still has the Russian accent. It's the same person in the same thing. It's like you should have just copied and pasted the whole panel. It would have been better.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that I'd really. And then when Kitty was in the actual like courthouse trying to talk to the congressman, it was like, dude, you need to draw her face the same. How is this? This is constantly looking like a different character every single time. Yeah. So yeah, the art was shit, but
but Tom, tell him just to spoil the issue. Why did I like this issue? What 1 page did I like about this issue?
Well, I don't know what.
Whiplash grabbing Peter.
Close.
Oh yeah, Whiplash is. I don't know.
Omega Red.
Oh yeah, Omega Red,
end,
of course.
And I was very happy to see my boy.
And that's also another just great like old school X-Men where it's just like, boom, we have so many great villains, and we're just gonna bust them in right at the end. And it was like old school X-Men, and X-Men Blue is like I thought that's kind of what I was getting, and then now that I'm reading X-Men Gold, like I read the last 3 issues to prepare. It's like I should have probably got on X-Men.
What was the other X-Men book? I ended up picking up a copy of that. Astonishing.
Oh yeah, Astonishing.
Brilliant. That like to me is amazing. But no, Gold and Blue again. I wasn't buying X-Men for the longest time, and my first comic I bought was Uncanny X-Men, where Juggernaut got the snot beat out of him by Onslaught, and that was my first comic ever. So
Sweet.
Straight X-Men boy. So this series has helped. Both of them are helping to kind of revitalize my love for it, and hopefully Astonishing keeps delivering because I was astonished with this.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree. I when X-Men renumbered 4 years ago, I was like, fuck you, you know? I've literally 7 years I've been buying X-Men Uncanny.
That was the first time that Marvel did that.
Yeah, it was the first time. And I was like, that was the first book I bought weekly. It was, you know, like when I was way younger, I knew Mutants was the thing, but I still read Uncanny as well. And then they were like renumbering. I was like, fine, I haven't liked it for a year. I've been complaining a bunch about it. It's like, this is a perfect time to get off. And then since they renumbered, they have renumbered it 3 times. 3 extra times. It's like, but now they're going back to the original.
So yeah, Marvel never rewards their fans for staying on. They want new readers. That's the whole thing. So
do you you don't like the art? I just looked at a preview. It looked pretty good to me.
No.
Holy
I like
shit!
Lashley's art.
I do not.
I just saw a
Lashley's
picture
the
of.
poorest choice for soccer.
I like his backgrounds and his landscapes and everything, but it's just the faces.
His
It
faces.
Just, yes.
Do you ever was he? Do you know? Was he on Avengers Arena and like? Was that Lashley?
I never read Avengers.
Oh,
Arena.
okay.
Oh, I don't.
I did, but I didn't pay attention.
Dumb
Yeah, John's continuity guy.
When Marvin was looking at a preview, there's the one scene, like you'd said, where Kitty's talking to the Congress or whoever she's talking to. That one above picture, she is a man.
Yeah,
And
oh.
then the next page down, she's a girl.
It's so crazy. And there is really good scenes. They have a profile picture of her at the courthouse where I'm like, damn, Kitty, you're hot. This looks great. Your hands like going through your hair done so well. I'm like, oh, maybe this is a good artist. And then the next panel was like, whoa,
She's mannish.
but so I'm not saying that I'm sure. And
I was
mean,
mistaken. It was Kev Walker. I thought Kev Walker's a good artist.
Kev Walker's like one of my favorites for sure.
I thought that was him. But that preview, that first page looked okay.
Kev Walker. What was that book that we loved with Kev Walker? Oh my god,
Avengers Arena.
It was not Avengers Arena.
Avengers Arena. He did the sequel to Avengers Arena.
It was a team book that was a Marvel
AI?
team book.
The AI with Vision was the leader of the team.
No.
Is that the one?
It wasn't Avengers. It was a weird team book from back in the day. God damn it. I can't remember. No.
Team Thunderbolts.
I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me later. Sorry.
So what do you guys give the issue out
Oh
of?
shit.
What's your rating?
Oh, well, I mean, jumping right in, 9 out of 10 beers. I mean, I'm going to even go...
What show
I
are
like
you
good
buying those
mix.
from?
I'm switching, my style. I've rated it on my scale. Wednesday Comics Book Scale. Now I'm mashing
It's
them up.
amalgam, like
Now it's
amalgam
mashing them
comics.
up.
Originally I jumped on issue 1 ago because I was interested about Colossus and Kitty. Looks like I should jump back in. They're getting married.
When he sold it on eBay, hopefully, for $300 or whatever. No.
I held on to my copy. Love it.
But no, because the story was soap opera. I mean, it was like soap opera, old school, late 80s, early 90s X-Men, and that's...
Is that what you're looking for? I know you're a big X-Men guy, John.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for? Soap opera, or you're looking for like cool mutant powers?
That's kind of
crazy.
an awkward thing because I criticize the soap opera part, but I think I secretly love it. Because otherwise, why would I be reading this book for so many years? So I think, in the 90s cartoon really portrayed a lot of that too, right? The he said, she said crap. So absolutely, I hunger for it.
John is
like it
lying.
too.
That is, he wants the drama. That is why John
That's what I
makes...
just said.
Yeah, I mean, but you were like secretly. I'm like, it ain't no secret, bro, dude. You've been telling people for 6 years on our channel that's like...
Some people go to like Walmart for like, the Love Smut novels. I go for X-Men. So, but no, seriously, on my rating, gosh, this issue, that cover just pissed me off, but Omega Red with at the very end, geez Louise, I'm going to have to keep a couple and give it 3.5 out of 6 beers, I think, this time around, but I'm still hanging with it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I looked at the cover. Holy shit, Colossus' hand is bigger than his whole head.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, he takes up the whole entire cover. Like,
It's
It's giant arm.
X-Force
huge
number
hand.
1.
His head's only this big, covered by his
yeah.
hands. Holy shit, dude. Put those away.
Yeah.
Yep.
The gun show.
Did you read this?
Sort of. Let's just say I looked over a kid's shoulder while he was reading it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, while he was in the shop?
Keep flipping. Slower.
Those have been the review for this week. Batman 28, Hadrian's Wall number 8, Hawkeye number 9, Seventh Attorney number 8. A lot of 8s here. Superman 28 and X-Men Gold number 9. 8 and 9. There we go. Make sure to visit RainbowComicsandCards.com. You can go there and get these books delivered to you. Personally, I don't know. Might be the mailman. Might be Mr. Dave. So, you think he delivers them hand delivers them to you? I don't know.
yes.
He did say there was a fee. And I assume if there's a fee, if you're not local, that means he does it himself. So go there. You can get these books or any other books we talked about. Rumble. Want to get Rumble? Deadly Class. I told you, ask him for Deadly Class. That's the one thing you got to do. Go in there and say, Wednesday Comics says I have to read Deadly Class. Let him make him order for you. Here we go. Here is what we tease. I don't we didn't tease it publicly. We just tease it in the group chat. Wednesday Comics versus a comic book look, a game I'm calling Champions. Here's how the game works. We're gonna play a game here, 3 rounds. It's gonna be, you know what? You should hold out the mic. You should put that mic between you two, and you guys share a mic because we're gonna be buzzing in by saying your name.
You mean 5 rounds? 5
No.
rounds, 5 rounds,
No, 3 rounds.
5 rounds.
3 rounds of 5.
Rounds 5.
Of 5 questions each. So
Oh, this is getting real.
Did you do a tiebreaker?
we can make one up on the fly.
I just want to say I love the games on your guys' channel. It's like my favorite part is the games, and then I'm sad though that Garrett didn't come up with the game, because when you do, Marvin always gives you so much shit about like the way you're gonna do your game. It's like, dude, just hey Marvin, how about you just let Garrett run his game and it'll be good.
I'm the game master. That's why.
Game master. There's literally, I still remember the game. I remember the game that had no fucking.
Hey, you want to talk in the mic?
reason or rhyme.
Oh.
Well, why is it over there? I had no reason or rhyme.
All right.
It made 0 sense.
Rhyme or reason. But okay.
See? Yes, we perfect.
I love it. I mean, it makes the podcast better.
So here's how it's going to work. The first one is going to be. Hey, can you give me the trivia thing?
See, that's what I deal with. You get rules, and then hey, what was that over there?
So
Oh shit.
we're going to do this Marvel trivia. It has easy, hard questions. The first round is just going to be the easy questions. However, so it's going to be 5 questions up front, each worth 1 point.
Okay.
That's why I got the board here. Oh, can you get the board?
Jesus.
You're going to
Hold it too?
No, yeah, you do the board. We'll put
This
it next
is the
to you.
marker right here.
You got a marker?
3 rounds, so put it 3 rounds, comic book look and Wednesday comics. First round, 5 questions. They aren't going to be directed towards one group at all. It's going to be everybody. The first person to buzz in can answer. We'll do it just like we do the movie game. If you answer... If you answer incorrectly, the other team has a chance to answer before you can answer again.
Gotcha.
I need, when you buzz in, I need an answer within 10 seconds. I don't need this bullshit over here. Ask me to repeat the question. So,
I feel like this is Family Feud.
however, so we're going to have 5 points, right, for the first round.
For
It's
5
whoever
questions?
wins the round. So whoever wins all 2 out of the 3 rounds will win the whole game. So round 1 is worth 5 points. We'll see who gets it.
If
round
we lose,
one.
boys, that's gonna suck.
No,
It's
you
3
buzz
against
in.
2.
What?
I just slap the table.
No, you say
Say
your
your
name to
name.
buzz in like any other game we've ever done on the show.
What do I say? Do I say Wednesday Comics or
You
I say Garrett?
Say I can.
Okay.
That way I know who it's from. Everybody has a different name.
If I say Garrett, does he have to answer? Just want to be clear on these rules.
You should.
Sure, it's an easy
Can you
question.
scroll over more? Or just don't look at the cards. I know you won't cheat.
Oh, I see. You want me away from you.
Yeah, and talking to the mic too.
Yeah. Well,
Way the fuck over here! Go fuck yourself.
So put it in the middle.
give me a second here. Jesus.
Here we go. First person to buzz in. Like I said, these have easy and hard. The first 5 are easy ones. So here we go. True or false? Pepper Potts has her own suit of armor, and when she wears it, it's known as rescue.
True.
True. I mean, Tom.
Garrett. True.
Yes, 1 point for Wednesday Comics.
Hey, we have to say our name, not true. We're both dumb.
Follow the rules.
We're
Follow the
real-
rules.
Maybe I should have been a little clearer. My name is True.
My name is synonymous with true. There you go.
Truly Sergeant
damn.
Merica.
Second question.
Fools.
Hands on buzzers.
Tom.
What is the name of the vampire creature that has battled Captain America several times?
Mike.
Yes,
Baron Blood.
correct.
That was
1 point,
so
comic book look.
awesome.
That was sick. That was sick.
1-1, 1-1. Who's going to win the
gonna say
round?
Of course, it was a Captain
gonna say
America question.
Blade, Morpheus. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
You're the man.
That's what I was going to say. If you wear those headphones, you get it wrong. I think you have to take them off. So, what is the name? Hands on buzzers. What is the name of the armor that is painted red, white, and blue?
Tom.
Yes,
Iron Patriot.
correct.
Why did I
1 point.
not speak up on that? Yeah.
John actually just told me that answer through
Telepathically.
ESP.
Yeah.
He was actually like technically
Boys, what's
it's
going
red,
on?
blue,
It's
and
2-1.
Representing over here. I know, but he's
Yeah, but we answered that first one anyway. We just forgot to say her name.
We're not used to your guys' rules.
This is multiple choice, so buzz in after I give you the answers. What character from the Marvel Universe wrote the book Sidekick about his time with the Incredible Hulk, Avengers, and other superheroes? Rick Jones, Glenn Talbot, or Marlo Chandler?
John,
Yes,
Rick Jones.
correct. 1 point.
Hooty hoo!
I'm gonna lose this first one.
Let's get to the DC.
3-1.
There's no DC questions. Here we go. Buzz in. I'm not going to do this one. Let's pick a harder one for the last one here.
Advanced.
That one's not hard either.
Just do it.
Mike, the answer.
Hey, I was going to do a game where I said the answer. You have to tell me the question. But I figured that'd be way too fucking hard.
We've never seen Jeopardy.
What branch of the military did War Machine James Rhodes serve?
Mike,
Yes.
Air Force.
Incorrect.
Alex,
Yes.
the Army.
Incorrect.
Garrett.
Tom.
Oh,
Garrett?
Who's first? Air National Guard.
Incorrect.
Tom, Marines.
Oh, yeah, correct.
I'm like, we're running out here, boys.
So many branches.
It said U.S. Marine Corps, and I got thrown for a second. Comic book look, round one goes to comic book look.
4-1.
You know what? I figured that. So for round two,
You just want to give that to us?
what we're going to do is a game that we played numerous times in the show, going to be played the same way.
Oh, I see that. We start winning this amazing
You're
game.
switching it up.
And now this is
He's just showing that you guys are smarter than the two of us together, that we actually need a little hand.
Yeah,
outrage.
round two is a
there's a
different
sudden
version of the game. Round two is called Name That Movie. I'm going to play a clip. You tell me what movie it's from, and you get a point. Like, it's the same thing. If you
This is
guess,
my kryptonite.
You're
You're gonna play it on the loudspeaker so Alex can hear too.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
Or you can
Or give up your headphones.
That's right. Here we go. Oh, no, because I want to hear if it's actually working.
All right, now we're going to talk about Marvin. So
We
you can't
still
hear
do.
us.
It's because I can't hear him.
Hey, I have those headphones. You should take them off and you can turn them around. And then you guys can hold it.
Oh.
Or put both your heads together to stretch it out.
Do that? No, they don't.
Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. Well, I guess, here, where am I? Just tell me if it's working.
We'll tell you when we get
This is very strange. Usually I'm used to hearing myself.
Marvin, why are there people grunting right now?
That's on this. That's for later. Sorry.
Turn off your history.
Played the wrong one. So same thing as the last game. Buzz in. If you get it wrong, wait for the other people to do it. I'm only going to play the clip once. I will not replay the clip. So if nobody gets it at the end, nobody gets the point.
We're still buzzing in like normal?
Yes.
I'm so excited to play this.
Here we go. Movie clip number 1. Let me know if it's too loud too. Or if it's not loud enough. Okay.
I can't hear it turned up.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I didn't hear that. Can you hear it?
Can hear nothing.
Nope.
Hear nothing
Good movie,
else
though.
now.
Mike,
Oh.
Silence of the Lambs.
Do this.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Good. Good to see. That's why I need the headphones.
Tech genius.
Right here.
Ready?
Oh, good morning. It's a beautiful day, huh? What was it you said? I'll never get that picture.
Garrett.
Yes.
hero.
Spider-Man 3.
Correct. But also,
I never thought he'd really do that.
I don't
See?
know if you guys listen. Because I only need the movie clip 1 or 2 or 3. So. But yes, Spider-Man was. I heard Tobey Maguire. So there we go.
That was Topher Grace, actually.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure I remember what they are. So
I saw that movie one time and never again.
Wait, you don't like the gun?
No, but I heard Marvin did say recently, or at least I heard on your podcast, that you gave it a rewatch at some point and didn't think it was that
it's not
bad.
horrible.
I like Sandman.
It's not good, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
People say it's the worst. It's not the worst because they obviously never seen Fantastic Four, that '90s movie, buddy.
You kidding me? The arm wave.
Yeah, arm out that.
Question number 2 or clip number 2. Here we go. Let me know how it sounds.
Hey, man, what you reading in there? You a college boy or something? Huh? I bet you think you're pretty smart, huh? Think you could outsmart a bullet? What do you say we find out, huh? I'm talking to you! What do you say? Huh? Huh? I'm talking to you!
Yes,
Judge Dredd?
incorrect.
Drop it!
Garrett.
Yes,
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, that's RoboCop.
Dead or Alive, you're coming with me. I'm wearing the Oh, I wasn't wearing the shirt. I was earlier, but I took it off.
I shouldn't probably clap by the mic either. Sorry, guys.
No, it was good. Frank Miller wrote number 2 and 3 RoboCop, but RoboCop's been in comics before, so like I said, very loose. So there we go. Movie clip number 3, hands on buzzers. It is 2-0. Come on, you guys got to come back. You literally have to get all the rest of them to win this round. So here we go.
Where is the woman? Give it up. You'll never find her. If you will not tell me, I will hurt people.
Incorrect. There's a clip. Wednesday Comics.
Alex.
Yes.
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
Incorrect. Does anybody else have a guess? Because I'm not playing that clip over again.
We got to try to go with a guess. I mean, it's not going to hurt us.
You know what? That clip was short, so I will play it over again because the rest of them are so long.
I mean, you know what? It's not going to matter. But please do it again.
Where is the woman? Give it up. You'll never find her. If you will not tell me, I will hurt people.
The Incredible Hulk.
Incorrect. You guys got a guess? That point goes to nobody.
John, throw up a guess.
Yes.
Can I go with like a vintage Captain America? I don't know.
That old Cap movie?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
No, I don't
Close
know.
though.
I'm just
You're on,
hearing the
you're on the
sound.
same time range. This is Superman 4. Quest for Peace. Yeah, that's Nuclear Man.
Wow.
Buddy,
And Christopher Reeve was like, let's not.
I watched that clip, barely could contain it. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Is that the one with Richard Pryor?
That's 3, right?
No, that's 3. That one's fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like that one.
2-0. No points for that one. Nobody knows the classic. Superman
Or
number
is
4.
Like basically Bizarro, but not Bizarro.
That's what I thought when I was watching that clip. Is like, there's so many Superman villains that are like, let's make one. Number 4. Here you go.
General.
Tom, Man of Steel.
Incorrect.
Any last words? Hulk! Smash!
Incredible Hulk.
Correct.
Holy shit.
3 points.
It wasn't Ang Lee because there was no anger in that movie.
Yeah.
There you go. 3 points.
killed each other. Right, kill my mom.
We're getting crushed, boys.
Last one here. You guys can't win the round, but maybe you can get a point and not get crushed this round. Let's see. Number 5.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Garrett.
Yes.
Big Hero 6.
Correct.
It's Baymax.
Betamax.
Big Hero 6. You know what? See, I didn't know what was playing, and then you said, "Oh, yeah, it is Big Hero 6." There you go. There we go. Round 2 goes to Wednesday Comics. Round 1 to Comic Book Club.
Crushed, man. We didn't get 1 point.
So
we have to like win out, I think.
Let's go back. This game is going to be different. It's still going to be using the shoe. Now we're going to go to the hard questions here. Can I have my headphones back?
I don't know how you hear. I mean, not that I couldn't hear. It is so fucking loud in there.
Yeah, I keep it up loud. Hard questions. However, you're not going to buzz in. We're going to go at the same time. How we're going to do that is you guys, and then your group chat. So I'm going to say the question, converse with each other, send me your answer, and then you guys do the same thing. Send me your answer.
And so we have to send as a team, right?
Yeah. So as one answer, I want from both of you. So, and then we will see who will win this round with these hard questions. Let me log into the messenger.
I assume we're just doing Wednesday.
Yeah, just do the host.
Wednesday Comic Book.
Yeah, and there's one with you guys too. Converse about it.
Why are you going to send us the question?
Here we go. Question number 1. Oh. I'm not going to send you the question. I'm going to say it, and you send me the answer. And then I'll see it here, and I'll see who get it correct. But you don't have to buzz in. So here we go. That question's way too easy. I thought these were hard questions. I thought these had hard questions on it. Should probably look that up before I ask.
Marvin's got a kitty.
All right, here's the first question. This one's pretty hard. What was the name of the team led by Black Widow that also include Hercules, Ghost Rider, Angel, and Iceman? What is the name of the team led by Black Widow that includes Hercules, Ghost Rider, Angel, and Iceman? Send me that answer, and I will see if you get it right for 1 point in round 3.
That's not a word.
This one, though.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't know that. I've never heard of that, but they could be.
I have 2 answers here. I'm going to give them away now. So the Wednesday Comics team picked Thunderbolts, so that is incorrect.
Fools.
Ashamed of this group right now.
Should have been.
A comic book look said Defenders. It's a good guess, but Doctor Strange is always the leader of the Defenders, not Black Widow. So what we have is called the Champions. That is the correct answer. That's the name of the game. Here we go. Oh, that was the easy one.
I thought the champions were the Wizard, Namor, Human Torch, Captain America.
If we don't get a bathroom break for too long, I'll be the Wizard.
They're the real Defenders.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Defenders?
Or no.
Invaders.
Or they're the Invaders. Yeah.
Because they invaded your country.
Here we go. Send me your answer. True or false? In the original version, the L in the SHIELD acronym stood for logistics. True or false? In the original version, the L in the SHIELD acronym stood for logistics. We have 2 answers. They are false, and that is the correct answer. It stood for law enforcement. 1 point for each team. We are at a dead heat.
Oh boy.
Pressure is on.
The flame.
Here we go. Question number 3. What is the name of the offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. originally led by Abigail Brand that deals with extraterrestrial threats? What is the name of the offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. originally led by Abigail Brand that deals with extraterrestrial threats? Send it to me and we'll see what it is. We'll see if you know the answer. We'll see if you know how. Let you know you can download your Marvel. That's the thing. That's another reason why I picked Marvel trivia. I feel like we don't talk about Marvel enough in this show. So here we go.
Yeah, you didn't cover any Marvel books, did you? Or this...
Hawkeye.
Oh,
X-Men Gold.
Okay.
X-Men Gold.
Oh, yeah, those aren't real Marvel, though.
Yeah, but it's because Marvel's ripping us off. Can't have one book at $2.99. Marvel, get it together.
Here we go. Wednesday Comics. Give me an answer that
makes Marvin real proud.
Yeah, he says that like it pisses him off.
Did you say the Thunderbolt?
That they said Alpha Flight. That is incorrect.
Oh my
But
god!
I'm so proud of you guys for saying that.
That's a Canadian team. They deal with Canadian.
It's odd
issues.
because the teams that are a comic book looks favorite is Alpha Fight and Thunderbolts.
Isn't Alpha Flight taking care of aliens right now in space?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they are.
Captain
they
Marvel.
are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they're part of Shield, aren't? I mean, Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Sword. So you guys got Sword.
we got
So
Sword. The chick with the green hair who's dating Beast for a while.
Oh.
Nope.
Sword is the
Old
correct
Man
answer.
Logan, I think. Was
I do think the Alpha Flight are with Sword right now.
Yes.
So
Oof.
So we're technically right.
Alpha Flight.
All right, so you get another point.
yeah, comic book look gets another point. There we go.
Okay. 2-1.
Here we
Marvel's
go.
fucking me over on.
Question number 4. True or false? Captain America was once married to Sharon Carter. True or false?
You're the headphones.
Let me know what you think.
Confirm or deny.
True or false? Captain was once married to Sharon Carter, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Why don't you send it on?
Did you send it? Yeah.
It's the worst that can happen. We're losing.
Here we go. I got 2 answers. They are different answers. So we will get somebody getting a point and somebody not getting a point. False. Captain America's never been married. That is a point to Wednesday
Not
Comics.
even Dimension Z.
Ooh.
They weren't married ever. They were just
Let's find out when this one was made.
colluding.
Yeah, I just felt like Captain America's been around for so long
He's probably married
that
to
I was
half of
like,
Marvel
he's
U.
got to be married to her at some storyline. But clearly
I don't
we're wrong.
believe that in Dimension Z they got married at all.
They ever explain
Not
why
even
she's
issue
a grandma?
113 of What If?
Dropping gospel.
Yeah, I would just make that up.
Here is your last question. If this does come to a tie, we will need a tiebreaker, and that I found the hardest question I can in this thing.
76.
Who briefly took the mantle from Captain America? Took the mantle of Captain America from Steve Rogers before becoming U.S. agent when Rogers reclaimed his role. Who
We got to
briefly
know this guy's name.
took the mantle? I need his name.
Oh
You
my
know,
god,
he
I
was
know
in the
this
wheelchair.
guy.
Who took the mantle from Captain America
In
of
Thunderbolts.
Captain America from Steve Rogers before becoming U.S. agent?
He has a great series, Taskmaster. I know for a little bit too. What is that guy's name?
What is his name?
The guy from the wheelchair in Thunderbolts. When the series that you didn't, towards the end when you didn't like it.
That's
Do you
not
know
a
who
good
I'm talking
trigger. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
This could be the decider. This could be. Who briefly took the mantle of Captain America from Steve Rogers before becoming U.S.
Think of his
agent
name?
when Rogers reclaimed his role?
That's the only thing I could think of.
Need a name.
Go for it.
All right. Let's do it.
Aim for the bushes.
I have some half answers. I need a full name.
God damn it. We don't know.
I need a full name, otherwise that doesn't count.
All right, let me try.
Cap.
Does a rank count as a first name?
This is so stupid. I know I've read comics with this dude's name in it, but there's no way I'm remembering.
Okay, I have two full names here. Here we go. We have from Wednesday Comics. It's Sergeant America trying to bribe me via messenger. We have from
By
Wednesday
$1,
Comics.
God, I could have said 20.
I only got $1. on
They
me.
say Rick Jones. And from Comic Book Look, very, very close. They say David Walker. It is John Walker.
Fart knocker. I mean, we just said Walker at first.
You did, but I need
We
specifics.
knew it wasn't Walker, Texas Ranger.
So that is a tie, right?
That is a no point.
7 to 6.
What? No, you don't go by points. You win the round.
The round.
So
Oh,
this
I
tied
see.
2-2.
Okay.
Obviously not paying attention to the beginning. Let me find the hardest question.
Said, right, the
I'm
first
gonna,
time
I'm
he
gonna
would've
know
changed
this
it.
name
No!
now for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
John
I'm so
Walker.
pissed off about
Johnny
this.
Walker, we should have known.
You couldn't remember John?
The Scotch.
Well,
Here we go. Here's a hard question. This is the tiebreaker. If nobody gets this one, we will not go to the second tiebreaker. It will be a tied game. What longtime foe of Henry Pym forced him to commit crimes as Yellow Jacket in order to disgrace Pym?
Who's Henry Pym?
can you reread?
Oh, Henry.
Henry.
I heard Henry too.
I'm just joking, Marvin. Just
What longtime foe of Henry Pym forced him to commit crimes as Yellow Jacket in order to disgrace him?
I know nothing about Ant-Man.
That's why I thought it was hard. Who knows about Ant-Man?
Not me.
That's all I know, so I'm dead to you otherwise.
Can I do this?
Yeah.
Even if it's
Yes.
completely wrong.
You know, yes.
I don't know.
Otherwise,
I
just
just want this.
Oh my god. Well, we lost.
I think we all lost.
I have answers that are locked in. From Wednesday Comics, they say the bald guy from Ant-Man.
Very nice.
Not 100% incorrect, so I'll tell you that much. From a comic book look, we have Thomas the Train. The correct answer was Egghead. So, Egghead.
Oh,
That's pretty close. Bald guy.
Never even heard of the guy.
I have. That wasn't what I was thinking.
Then.
That is, no, I'm not. It's tied game.
wow.
It's a good way to leave it.
Stalemate.
That's right.
Still friends.
We're equals, guys.
That is the first edition of Champions ends in a tie. Isn't it how you play? What game do you play where you go to overtime, but if you tied again, you're still tied? That's called football. NFL. But I think they do 2 overtimes. We won't hear it though, because I got to be unique. That is Wednesday Comics.
No, because it's the first team to score in overtime.
Oh, I didn't say. Did I say at the beginning? Oh, I did. You can please remember to visit our sponsor, rootstheswampthing.com, and see everything about the green, about Mr. Swampy. Hey, might be coming back soon. We know that in his own book. Make sure to go to ramcomicsandcards.com and get your comics there. Stop by if you're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or Lincoln, Nebraska. Make sure to email us WednesdayComics605 at gmail.com. Oh, where's the bell at gmail.com. Make sure to visit us on Twitter at Wednesday Comics, and Alex is at Alex Pastrallo. Follow me at Marvin _Salguero and at Garrot2188. Oh, wait, hold on. At pastrami_news.com if you want to hear about some news that came out a year ago. Pastrami, he's out there. He's giving out news in case you want to know. Facebook.com/Wednesday Comics podcast if you want to find us on Wednesday Comics. Where can you guys find YouTube.com/A Comic Book Look? I just looked it up. That is your.
Yep, you can find us on Twitter at A Comic Book Look, or ding, A Comic Book Look. And then you can find us, all over. Facebook, Twitter, Gmail.
Bonus round.
Find us at the bonus round.
You make sure to go to iTunes, subscribe, and rate and review the show. Also, hey, thanks for your review. Find us on Stitcher Radio, Google Play. Also, subscribe.
One of those I was talking about.
Huh?
What?
And was that it? Yeah, find us on there. It's another show. You guys obviously didn't you guys didn't pull out for me. I thought Wednesday Comics was going to come up ahead, but I guess we got to tie it up.
Oh, I thought we were all like, "Oh, peace, no second tiebreaker." Now you're like, "Well, you guys didn't fucking win."
Well, if I wouldn't need a tiebreaker if you guys held it up.
Yeah. All right, Comic Book Look. Wonder powers combined.
Marvin, I want to include you in the WC over here, but you're on your own.
I want to do that except I want to punch him in the balls and kick him.
Leave us a voicemail. We'll listen to it and put it on next show if you want to. Until next time, I've been Marvin.
I've been Alex.
I'm Garrett.
And everyone keep turning those pages.
You want to say hello to them?
Nope.
John, Tom, and Mike too also.
Good show, boys.